started the season 10 weeks ago with the Battle of Pritchard, and tonight we'll end it with the Battle of Westmobile. On the line, a possible playoff berth for the Baker Hornets. Now they'll need a win plus some help to get in, but standing in the way is their arch rival, the MGM Vikings. Can Baker continue their recent dominance over MGM, or will the Vikings play spoiler and end the Hornets season tonight? We'll find out next with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Down on the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. Corey, it's a must-win for Baker tonight.
Without question, they're going to play with a lot of intensity. They know that they control their own destiny, so to speak, Al, because if you win, like I said, you sit back and you wait to see what's going to go on. You're going to go straight to your phone or to your person who's watching the game that Murphy's playing. So a lot of implications are at play in tonight in this Westmobile battle.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We're bundled up here. We've had a blast of some cold air recently, probably one of the most chilliest Halloweens I can remember, Corey.
It finally is football weather.
Yeah.
I know the coaches and the players have been waiting for the temperatures to drop. It's definitely done so.
Let's take it down to the field and check in with Kimberly Dunn for the Future One forecast.
That's right. I'm here with our game night forecast for tonight. And like you said, it is a chilly one, but I think these players are really going to appreciate that later in the game. We'll be starting off at kickoff in the 50s, and by the time the game ends tonight, we will be at 45 degrees with no chance of rain, thankfully. So this will just be some cool, crisp fall weather for these players tonight.
All right, Kimberly, you're right. It will be cool and crisp, but Corey, it is hot with playoff action here on the Gulf Coast. A lot of teams are already in. They know what's going on, so our graphics crew, we're going to get us the graphics. We're going to start with 4A and then move to 5A, then talk about 7A and then 6A. So what's your take on the playoffs? We know 4A pretty much who's in as we look at the graphic right there.
I mean, you look at 1 year ago, UMS Wright was the two-time defending state champion going for the three-peat.
Right.
But congratulations to the Williamson Lions 1 week ago at Escambia County in a must-win game. They go on the road and find a way to get it done. And they also piggyback off of a win off of Viger, so they're not limping into the playoffs. They're getting it full strength at the right time of year.
All right, let's flip it over to 5A. Pretty simple right here. They are set. And big, you got to tip your cap to Jack French and the Faith Academy Rams. Corey, they're undefeated this season. They're 9-0 right now.
Yeah, they're finding a way to get it done. Jack French, a former teacher in the Mobile County Public Schools system, getting it done. You always have to watch out for those hungry Viger Wolves.
Yeah,
they get into the playoffs as a 4 seed, but they're capable, even though they're young, of going on the road and beating any opponent that they play.
Yeah, it's a young team. They're 4-6, but they are in the playoffs. I know that's not the record that they were probably looking at. And look at Citronelle right there, another Mobile County Public School System team in the playoffs this year.
Coach Barnett's done a great job keeping those guys focused and finding a way to make postseason play consistency at Citronelle High School.
All right, let's take it to 7A right now, another 9-team region. So here's the deal. We know McGill is in, Theodore is in, and Fairhope has clinched a playoff spot. So let's talk about it, Corey. Tonight, we mentioned it. Baker needs to win, but they need some help from Bryant to beat Murphy so they could get in tonight.
It's the biggest thing. I think the one thing that really sticks out at me, Murphy, the number 3 seed with the win over Bryant, and Fairhope lost to McGill, or Murphy, a 4 seed with the win over Bryant, and Fairhope win over McGill, or Baker lost to MGM. Baker, again, keeping hope alive, and that's very important for them. They're number 4 seed with the win tonight over MGM. Murphy lost to Bryant.
Ironically, a couple weeks ago, the game that Baker lost, a lot of people thought they would have won. It was against Bryant. Bryant's first win in almost 18 weeks. So that could come back to possibly haunt the Hornets. Let's take it over to 6A. This was a bit more convoluted, but we do know some things. Saraland is number 1 team in the state. They've clinched a number 1 seed. But you got 4 teams at 5 and 2, and they're all kind of playing each other one way or another. We know St. Paul's will get in with the win over Robbinsdale for the most part. But right there tonight over in Daphne, that's the big game with Blunt Daphne going at it tonight.
Lev Holly trying to build on the brick-by-brick mentality that he and the culture that he's brought to Blunt High School. They did not make postseason play 1 year ago, so they're going to be extremely hungry when they take on a hot Daphne Trojans team. You look at this Daphne Trojans team that's going to face Blunt tonight. They have a Power 5 quarterback to go to battle against a Power 5 defensive lineman in Lee Hunter, so that's going to be a great matchup that we hope Blount comes out on top as far as from a Mobile County Public School System.
Yeah, that's true. And Blount's in a situation they could win and look like they'll get in, but they could possibly lose and possibly still get in depending on what happens with Spanish Fort and Saraland. That game taking place on the Hill tonight. Saraland looking to go 10-0 for the first time ever, so a lot at stake. We know it's not the same Spanish Fort we're used to seeing, and that's the hump they're trying to get over. They've only beat Spanish Fort one time since they went to 6A.
Saraland, again, being the state runner-up 1 year ago, and that's been very interesting to see them go ahead and have that bullseye on their back trying to get back to Auburn. And I say 6A Region 1,
yeah.
We've talked about it for a couple of years now, is like the SEC West. I mean, it is just so top-heavy to where any of these 4 seeds that get in can go and beat another region's 1 seed in the first round with ease.
And with Corey, we cannot forget about the situation that happened early in the year where Daphne had to forfeit a game to Spanish Fort. So it's looking like maybe it possibly, if Blount gets that win and Daphne loses and Saraland gets the upset over, Spanish Fort gets that upset over Saraland, that forfeit might come back to haunt Daphne tonight.
Yeah, it's a situation to where you hate it for the team that it comes down to that, but in situations to where paperwork or whatever you have is not in order, that's a situation that has become common, unfortunately, in the AHSAA this entire season. Not only to Daphne here locally, but you've also seen other teams throughout the state of Alabama that have suffered. Jackson High School is another one that has forfeited some wins in region play. So it goes on throughout the entire state of Alabama.
All right, Corey, we're about 3 minutes away from kickoff. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and look at your checklist before the kickoff. They're getting ready to do the toss here. It is Baker and MGM for your MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
The Mobile County Public Schools Environmental Studies Center would like to invite you to their annual open house. Join us on Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come take a tour of the grounds where you can experience live animals and reptiles that are local to our area. There's wildlife shows, arts and crafts, food trucks, and fun for everyone. Don't forget, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the Environmental Studies Center open house.
Parents, will your child be 4 years of age on or before September 1st, 2020? If so, mark your calendar for this January for pre-K open enrollment. In order to enroll your child, you must complete the online pre-K registration. For a complete list of pre-K sites as well as screening information and selection dates, visit MCPSS.com. For your chance to be a part of Alabama's first-class pre-K program, log on this January. In Mobile County Public Schools, we are learning today, leading tomorrow.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty, and Kimberly Dunn. Let's take a look, Corey, at the checklist we have for tonight. MGM is your home team, so we'll take a look at them as they are defending home turf tonight.
They have to control the line of scrimmage. That's going to be very important for them to get some type of momentum going and to protect quarterback Ashton Hollins tonight. They have to tackle as a vicious Viking. They cannot have yards after contact and yards gained. They must wrap up and make sure they're tackling with all of their might. And they have to win the turnover battle. MGM the last couple of weeks has gone negative in the turnover game. They want to go to the plus side of that tonight to take advantage of tonight's contest. Baker, on the other hand, they need to be buzzing around the quarterback, around Ashton Hollins, the 6'3", 170-pound sophomore. They've got to go ahead and keep him rattled and not let him get comfortable inside and outside of that pocket. Special teams play by Baker. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some type of fake punt, onside kick come from Coach Steve Norman tonight. And Baker's being the young and the restless. What do I mean by that? It's a relatively young Baker High School team roster-wise. They're restless because they're waiting to see what goes down in 7A Region 1 with Murphy. That's why they are young and the restless.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that. Your checklist, you've always been on it the entire season, and you're right. It is pretty much up for grabs tonight. Baker has to get the win, but they know they are going to need some help from the Bryant Hurricanes to beat Murphy for them to get in. Baker won this game last year 28-13. It wasn't much on the line for both of these teams last year. So I know a lot was expected out of MGM as we entered the season at the top. It hasn't panned out the way Coach John McCain wanted it to be, but just doesn't. I mean, so Stan McCain hasn't wanted it to be, but his kids haven't given up. This is our 4th time covering MGM this season.
The Viking land is always proud, and we had them for homecoming here at E.S. Grider Memorial Field, and you can just see the fans just excited to see them play the Murphy Panthers and excited to get out here and support this Sims community. None better than having your own stadium and being right here in Sims, Alabama if you're a Viking fan.
MGM won the toss. They declined to the second half, so they'll be kicking off back to receive for Baker. Ja'Shawn McMillan, DeMarquez Williams, and Jamari Hawkins, and doing that kicking for MGM. Chris Brewer, little short kick right there as Baker brings it up to about the 38-yard line as they're going to figure it out as we'll get first down to 10. Take a look at the offense right quick for the Baker Hornets, led by our quarterback Nick Summerlin. We'll be taking a look at Ja'Shawn McMillan. We didn't get to see him when they played Fairhope. He was out. He's that workhorse. He also does some Wildcat duty, and Summerlin will be getting the play calls from Justin Patterson, so they'll be trying to connect with Richards and Waters and Dixon across the line for Baker. They averaged 264 pounds, so a lot of heft up there for the offensive line for the Hornets. First and 10, ball sitting at about the 39-yard line for the Hornets. Quick handoff right there for the Hornets as they get it, and up and going and gone. Wow, for a big game for the Hornets. Taking that one, Ja'Shawn McMillan, Corey.
Exactly, you just mentioned him missing. Look at the cut that he makes on a dime, and he's able to show that explosiveness, breaking tackles, something the Vikings can ill afford. When they make contact with the runner, they've got to find a way to get him to the ground. If not, it'll be a long night for the MGM Vikings defense.
His impact being felt immediately. Big tight end Cade Collier in the ballgame, number 88, providing some blocking here possibly for the Hornets. He is 6'8". He is a monstrous guy on the field.
I love his ability. He has offers by West Florida and Kansas. That'll tell you what type of player he can be.
Play clock went down to 1 second for the Hornets. McMillan behind his blockers maybe gets a yard or two as he's brought down. Take a look at the defense for the MGM Vikings tonight, of course, led by Sean Maxwell. Also, Connor Cates coming over from his jack position. And a guy we've called a lot this season, Trey Umberger and C.J. Wallace back there in the secondary, causing havoc. And I believe Umberger got an interception last week against Theodore when we were out here, Corey.
Was very active in that secondary from his position. And if he's healthy and he's active, that's going to be a plus for the Vikings. But you don't want him to have to make plays tackling on that second level. You want him to be making interceptions on that level. 2nd and 9 for the Hornets as they dump it out right quick, and that pass is incomplete. Could not connect, so it'll be 3rd down and about 9 here for Baker. DeMarquez Williams has to look that football all the way in. Going to bring up 3rd down and 9 yards to go for this Baker Hornet offensive squad. And you look at offensive coordinator Justin Patterson leading this Hornets team. They're looking again to be 5-5 on the season, but right here it's going to come down to 3rd and long. If you're a Viking fan, you cannot afford to fall asleep here in the secondary.
Big run by Ja'Shawn McMillan to set Baker up in his great position. Little jet sweep to Williams. DeMarquez Williams cutting up the middle. It's going to be short of the 1st down, Corey, maybe by about a yard.
Brings up about 4th down and 1 yard to go. As you mentioned, Al, decision time for head coach Steve Norman. Early in the game, 10:30 remaining here in the 1st quarter. You want to go ahead and go for it all. I think you go for this 1 yard right here.
I think in the situation Baker's in, they probably want to go for it and probably get up to a big lead, kind of like Theodore did last week in the 1st quarter, because you know you have to win to get in tonight for the Hornets.
Establish yourself at the line of scrimmage with no penalties right here.
Look, quick handoff to one of the upbacks. Look like Derek Noble's there.
It's going to be close.
It is going to be close. I wonder if they'll bring the sticks out or if White Hat Mike Smith will make the decision immediately. We shall see. And it is a 1st down.
Nice, tough run to the up back, and he just plows his way and gets the yardage needed. That he gets low, and that's the biggest thing. He decided to go low and not high, and that's the extra yardage that he needed to pick up and squirt through that defensive line of the Vikings. 1st and 10, Hornets.
McMillan in the Wildcat right now. He's going to keep it up the middle he goes. We talked about that earlier. He does run from the Wildcat. Big 8-yard gain for Ja'Shawn McMillan.
Tackle made by Marlon Sampson, the 5'10", 170-pound senior from his free safety spot. Again, now going to bring up second down and inches to go. They can get the first down without the touchdown, but Baker's going for it all right here.
Wildcat again. Williams in motion. McMillan's going to keep it. He squirts through. The pile is still pushing him, Corey. He should be close to maybe the 2 or 1 yard line on that run.
Big offensive line. Chris Earhart, Torben Lindmark, Justin White, Benjamin Lang, and Sam Houston Strickland trying to get the yardage needed. Looks like they're going to pick up enough to bring up first and goal for the Hornets.
Play caller Justin Patterson kind of running an up-tempo offense here for the Hornets. Summerlin still on the sideline, so they're going back to the Wildcat once again. Williams goes in motion. Third time in a row. McMillan keeps it, Corey. That one looks like a no gain possible.
No gain, no push at the line of scrimmage. And like my buddy John Vella said, you cannot afford to go east and west when you have 1 yard to go.
Right.
You just need to plow straight ahead and get behind those big nasties. Get your pads real low and find a way to dive into the end zone.
Second and goal, ball on the 1 yard line. Derek Nobles, they're lined up in the I formation. Handed off to big Derek Nobles and into the end zone. He hits pay dirt. The Hornets on the board first with a 1 yard run.
Derek Nobles, the fullback, 5'4", 186-pound senior, finding a way to get it done. Scores first, and the Hornets sting first here in Sims, Alabama.
Peyton Engel on for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is no good. Engel misses the extra point. Baker's up 6-0. We'll be back with more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
My name is Harshini. I'm a junior at Davidson High School, and after graduation, I plan on pursuing a career in dermatology. Currently, I'm taking science classes such as AP Chemistry, Biology, and Human Anatomy, which will help me pursue my career. I feel as though Mobile County is preparing me for my career choice in that they provide rigorous classes that help me think further beyond just what I'm learning. I'm Harshini Cannon, a junior at Davidson High School, and I'm learning today so I can be a leader tomorrow.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Got to thank Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Got to thank Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location, plus Future Ones, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to wrestling and all sports in between. Wear the future with Future Ones. Baker on top early, 6-0. But there is Kel Young, Corey, across the 35-yard line up to the 40. He's been returning some nice punt returns and kick returns this season for the Vikings.
Kelton Young, the 5'6", 140-pound junior, shows his explosiveness, and if he does field the ball cleanly and has an opportunity, he's going to hit that alley and those lanes very quickly. A great job of forming the wedge and giving him an opportunity to get past that first line of defense, and he turns it up. Looks like we're going to have a flag on the play, and there'll be a face mask afterwards.
Warning, that's the first penalty is a warning on MGM. It's their ball, 1st and 10 from the end of the run.
So a sideline warning being issued, Corey.
And the coaching staff wanted that face mask call, and we're not able to get it. But you're in good field position. You get the ball at your own 40-yard line. You're asking your quarterback now, Ashton Hollins, the 6'3", 170-pound sophomore, to take over. Again, when he gets outside of the pocket, that's when he's most comfortable.
Right. Lined up next to him, Jeremiah Martin getting the start tonight at running back. Hollins on the keeper. His motion was stopped, but he kept the legs going, Corey, and maybe got credit for 1 yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Vikings.
Shows a little bit of his power. I mean, at 6'3", was able to move himself forward instead of backwards and Trey Daughtry was able to come away with a stop, the 6'2", 190-pound senior from his outside linebacker position for the Hornets.
Ball at the 42-yard line of MGM. Hand off to Edrin Houston, who comes into the ball game. Good run from him, about 6 or 7 yards, so it'll be 3rd and short for MGM coming up.
One of the things that you notice about Edrin Houston is he always keeps his feet moving. The 5'7", 135-pound junior, we saw him earlier in the year against Murphy really bounce to the outside and show his speed. When he's able to get past the line of scrimmage and turn his shoulders north and south, he's a very, very explosive runner once he gets past the line of scrimmage.
So it looks to be 3rd and 3 here coming up for Ashton Hollins and the Vikings offense. Hollins fakes it on the quarterback keeper, the RPO action, gets the first down, and a fumble ball comes out. The Hornets are screaming that they have it.
First down for the Vikings.
And luckily the referee stopped his momentum.
Yeah, but it looked like, first down.
But you're right. He has to get that football tight to his body. We saw him in week number 6 carry it very loosely as he's cutting back, and it's a great job of raking and stripping the ball away by Baker defender Zion Davis, and it's almost a turnover, but the Vikings get onto the plus side of the field into Hornet territory.
Very good observation, Corey. We've watched a young man carry that pigskin a little loose throughout the season. It's our 4th time covering MGM. Houston with the run up the middle. He's just a sophomore, so it's a learning process. That's why you have summer and quarterback camps.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Al, this is the battle of West Mobile. These two schools are very familiar with one another, and they know each other. They grew up with one another. They take this battle personally. And again, Baker's fighting for the playoff lives. MGM just wants to continue to play spoiler and have a little momentum going into the spring.
Yeah, no better way to send your rival home knowing they won't make the playoffs if you get that win tonight. 2nd down and about 6. Martin and Houston in the backfield. A little trickeration as they get that one to Edrin Houston, and the Hornets swarm and run him down for a loss.
Zion Davis, again, being very active tonight. We're calling his name a lot. And you have to love his ability to be active. 6'2", 205-pound junior.
Tavian Houghton also got in on that tackle, but he had to go off the field. Corey, a little possibly injured up, a little stinger there. So it's 3rd and about 5 here, a long 5 for the Vikings.
And excuse me, that's Terry Kirksey, the linebacker for the Hornets, making the play.
Yeah, Kirksey moved back to linebacker from his defensive end position for this game. Coach Steve Norman made some changes, and there's a change right there. Change of possession, interception for the Baker Hornets, grabbing that ball and bringing it in for the Hornets. Jaden Jackson, our first turnover of the ball game.
It's one of the things that the Vikings wanted to stay away from, just kind of eyed down his receiver and made it easy. You look at Hollins just looking at where he wanted to go with the football the entire time, wanted to get the football out to Trey Umbarger, but the Baker Hornets were not going for that as Jaden Jackson gets the first turnover of the night for the Baker Hornets.
So out comes the Hornets offense again, led by Nick Summerlin. Just to his left, Ja'Shawn McMillan up by 6 right now with less than 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Setting up that screen. Oh, watch out. That could have been a tip drill pick for the Vikings as Baker almost gave it back, Corey.
Devin Nobles was not able to handle that for the Baker Hornets, and it's a situation to where you want to make sure you look that football in before you start to run with it, because you said the tip drill could have been the worst thing. We could have been equaled up at 1 apiece for turnovers, but Baker lives 2nd down and 10 to go for the Hornets.
Al Weed, Corley Mounty, Kimberly Dunn here live at E.S. Grider Memorial Field. It's the Battle of West Mobile. We know what's on the line tonight for the Hornets. They need a win plus some help to get into the playoffs. In motion goes DeMarquez Williams, but they give it off to McMillan. And boy, the Vikings stand and defend home turf. They shut him down for a loss. It's 3rd and long for Baker right now.
That's one of the things that you have to do if you're the MGM Vikings. You have to make sure that, again, you tackle as a vicious Viking and bring up 3rd down and long to go now. The play calling totally changes. The Vikings just have to make sure they don't give up anything deep over the middle of the field.
3 receivers to the bottom of the screen to the near side here of us atop the press box. Jet sweep for the Hornets, and that's a big run, and they are trying to bring him down, but they cannot on the run there. Jamari Hawkins picks up the 1st down, moves the chains, Corey.
3rd down and 11 yards to go, and Mr. Hawkins gets 16 as he shows his shiftiness cutting back. Again, the Vikings yards after contact is something that has to be a point of emphasis for defensive coordinator Jared Parton. I know he's not happy when Baker's able to pick up extra yardage after the initial contact.
Big tight end Cade Collier checks back in once again. We saw him featured a lot when they played Fairhope a few weeks ago, running up the middle. But this time they handed off to DeMarquez Williams. A lot of sweeps being called tonight by the Hornets so far, Corey.
Trying to bounce to the perimeter, and it's something that I know when I talked to head coach Steve Norman, he talked about how quickly when they did run passing plays, they wanted to get the ball out quickly and wanted to try to attack the perimeter of this Vikings defense. And it's a situation to where if they do get beyond the line of scrimmage, he has the speed, but I would like to see them go back to Jay-Sean McMillan as he had a lot of success in that first opening drive.
Yeah, especially when they put him in Wildcat formation after that big pickup. He's wide open right here at the bottom of the screen. Corey, if he can just catch it and bring it in, oh, that would have been 6 all the way to the house. Incomplete.
He would still be running right now, touching the pylon, and that is 6 written all over. You look at the instant replay, maybe a tough pass. No, he just could not come away with it, just a couple of inches short. Summerlin put it where he needed to. 3rd down and 9 yards to go with the swing pass out of the backfield that comes up incomplete.
You know what Hall of Famer Chris Carter says, Corey? You get 2 hands on it, you got to catch it.
Gotta catch that.
Gotta catch it. 3rd and long here for the Hornets. Summerlin has time to throw. Some contact on there, but no flag on the play. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down for Baker.
C.J. Wallace knocks the ball away for the MGM Vikings. 4th down and 9 yards to go for the Hornets, bringing out their punter at this point in time.
Josh LeBourgeois on to punt. You just talked about C.J. Wallace. He's the punt returner for the Vikings. He is a dangerous kid. Let's see if Baker will punt away from him. See if Coach Norman and the crew have been doing their homework, Corey, watching film.
I tell you, if they kick directly to him and he gets that type of wall, he knows what to do with it.
Yeah. LeBourgeois gets off a nice kind of a knuckleball punt there. A bit short. And one of the officials probably was hit inadvertently by a player, Corey. He is down at the 35-yard line.
Not moving either at this point in time.
Got some scores coming in from key games right here. Saraland already on top of Spanish Fort, 3-0 in the first quarter, as the officials going to take a look at their co-worker there. We're going to have officials timeout and possibly let's take a break as the official is down on the field there, Corey.
Trying to see what official that may be in tonight's contest.
Coach Stan McCain out there on the field as well.
I think it is Charlie Ship
While we have a break, while we have a break, let's take a look at the impact players for this ball game tonight. We've talked about a couple for MGM. Who do you have lined up, Corey?
Trey Umbarger, we talked about his and what he means to this defense. Saw him with the interception a week ago. Also, quarterback Ashton Hollins, the sophomore quarterback, stands in the pocket. Has thrown one interception early, just looked down his wide receiver, allowing the safety to break on the football. But right now, our concerns are with Charlie Ship, who took a nasty spill on that last punt possession.
All right, let's flip it over and take a look at Baker, the impact players for them tonight. I think we have an idea who one of them will be.
Jay-Sean McMillan showed us his adversity or diversity earlier, the junior running back, and also Jaden Blackman, the senior linebacker for the Baker Hornets, getting it done. Jaden Blackman just plays an integral role in this defense of the Baker Hornets that's being led by J.C. Todd. You look at Blackman, he's 5'9", 182-pound senior and outstanding student athlete.
both head coaches on the field and some trainers as well from both teams helping Ship get up there. So good sportsmanship by being shown all around as the fans here in the stands at ES Grider give them a hand.
Charlie Ship, he is the head basketball coach at Davidson High School of the Lady Warriors, and he's a survivor. I mean, he's a fighter too, and he just absolutely got leveled and trucked in that situation. And I think that he's trying to figure out, make sure it's Friday night, make sure we're playing football instead of basketball at this point in time. And I'm glad to see he's up on his own power and communicating. And I think we do have a substitute official, and at this point in time, we're waiting on the alternate official to make himself known down to the field, and that'll be interesting to see if that's what's going to happen.
We just received a thumbs up from White Hat Mike Smith there. And it looks like we have a replay as they're going to help him off on the field. I think that's a good thing, get the alternate official. That's why you have him, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation to where, again, Charlie Ship's an absolute fighter, and, you know, he's a cancer survivor, and, you know, just a great guy to be around. And I'd be surprised, looking like that whiplash from his head may have hit his head on the field as well. So I'm glad we do have alternate officials in this situation. Charlie Ship going to go to the medical tent and get looked at. And I'm just glad to see he's walking off under his own power as well.
And Corey, I don't want to name names, but he was a big, tall kid for Baker. I think I might have an idea who it was.
No question about it. I know Charlie Ship's just trying to figure out where that truck come from.
Yeah. So it will be MGM's ball when we get things settled here. 3:37 remaining in the first quarter. Baker on top 6-0 over MGM. A critical ball game for them. They must win this game to have a chance to get into the playoffs, but still they need some help. They will need Bryant to beat Murphy, because by doing that, Baker would then get in. Baker beat Murphy a couple weeks ago. They have the tiebreaker, so they need some help tonight. They got to get the win first, though, Corey.
Huge win a couple of weeks ago by this Baker Hornets team just to keep their postseason hopes alive. And since that time, they've controlled their own destiny.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Join the 36th Annual Mobile International Festival as they present The Art and Science of Food on Saturday, November 23rd at the grounds. Taste exotic cuisine, enjoy entertainment, and shop for treasures. Tickets are $12, children 12 and under free, $10 for seniors, $5 for students with valid ID. For more information, call 285-5004 or visit mobileinternationalfestival.org.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
When it comes to getting your child through school, at times it can be overwhelming.
What school to choose, what classes to take, how to apply for college.
To help answer these questions and more, we would like to invite you to join us on Parent Connect as we take an in-depth look at some of the issues and concerns you may have about your child's education.
So get connected with Parent Connect, weekly right here on the MCPSS TV network.
Comes to high school sports, scores, players, and the latest on all sports within Mobile County Public Schools. You can get informed on MCPSS Athletics with Brad Lowell, only on the MCPSS TV network. Corey, we rejoin coverage right now. MGM, 1st and 10. Ball at their own 23-yard line.
The Vikings, again, with this layoff, just need to control the line of scrimmage, but the Baker Hornets weren't having any of that on that particular play, and they're coming out with big-time dreams, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, knowing that every play could make a difference.
Austin Johnson just level right there. That's a loss of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 13 for MGM.
What do you do right here? You want to make sure that you don't turn the football over. That's the biggest concern for the Vikings. You want to take what the defense gives you, but want to make sure Hollins does not throw another interception.
Another handoff to Austin Johnson. Picks up a couple yards. Let's take it down to the sidelines and check in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, I was able to get an injury update on the ref that was just injured on the field. Unfortunately, they are thinking that he may have a concussion. They were doing a full examination on him, putting lights in front of his eyes, getting him to raise his hands, and apparently they see something that they are concerned about, but they're hoping that hopefully he's able to take a rest, and then they will re-examine him again and see that he does not have a concussion. So maybe just keep him in your thoughts and your prayers.
Thank you, Kimberly. It is a contact sport, Corey, and if you're down on the field, you can get put in concussion protocol. We understand.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Charlie Shipp is in at this point in time. It's hard to keep your head on a swivel because he has an area that he's responsible for looking for.
Little screen being set up, get it at the Trey Umbarger. The problem is blocking and a fumble, and I believe we have a turnover, Corey, this time.
It is a turnover.
That is a turnover on that fumble. MGM had one earlier, but they recouped it, but that is a turnover on the play.
Great job of the replay being shown immediately as you look at Hollins with a nice one-legged throw. Nice grab by Umbarger. He's trying to turn it up, and it's stripped away right there. Great job of ripping the football away. The Hornets come away with their second turnover. This one deep in the Hornets territory, knocking at the red zone area.
It's like Kellis Timmons came away with that ball for Baker. 2 turnovers early in the ball game here for MGM. We know that has been something that has plagued them the entire season. Little quick handoff to DeMarquez Williams on the sweep. Play caller Justin Patterson continues to call that. He's seeing something that he likes, Corey. Going back to it.
Going to the perimeter of this Viking defense, trying to bounce it outside. Jayshon McMillan had success between the tackles early, but now, again, no need to air the football out, just trying to control the line of scrimmage, getting positive yardage on first down, bringing up 2nd and 3 for the Hornets.
Wildcat in right now for the Hornets. Flag on the play. It looks like encroachment, offsides against MGM. Let's get the call.
Encroachment, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty that results in a first down.
That's a free 5 for the Hornets as they are in the red zone, but now they're going into the scoring zone. It'll be 1st and goal for Baker. I think we may have a score update. One of the key games we're looking at, Murphy on top of Bryant, 7-0 in the first quarter. And we're in the Wildcat right here, ball at the 10-yard line. 8-yard line. Jayshon McMillan from the Wildcat doing it once again, Corey, getting up to the 3.
Go to your workhorse in that situation. You saw it on their first offensive possession to where they had success that led to 6 points being put on the board. And if you can go back to it and have success, why not? I mean, it's a situation here with 1:30 left to go in the first quarter. Just line McMillan up in the Wildcat situation and let him sting this Viking defense.
Ball being spotted at the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. McMillan keeps it and hits pay dirt for the Hornets. Baker on top, 13-0.
Great job by the offensive line getting that push. Offensive coordinator Justin Patterson being dialed in and feeling his players' rhythm offensively, going back to what he had success with in the red zone area on the first score. Now on the second score, not giving it to the up back, but keeping it himself for 6.
Engel on for the extra point. He missed the last one. I'm going to put my binoculars on, Corey, make sure I'm looking at this correctly, and that one is good. So Baker is on top, 13-0 over MGM. Got some scores coming in right now from around the area. Key matchups happening. A lot of playoffs possibilities at stake for a lot of teams here. So we'll get that graphic up, let you know about the latest. We just showed you Murphy's on top of Bryant, 7-0. Spanish Fort on top of Saraland. They're playing that one at the Hill, 6-3. And look at St. Paul's over Robertsdale already, 21-0.
Absolutely no problem for the St. Paul Saints over the Robertsdale Golden Bears.
Yep.
And Spanish Fort and Saraland. I mean, you're looking at Saraland trying to become undefeated for the regular season, but Blunt does have an 8-0 lead over the Daphne Trojans so far.
Yeah, our executive producer Quentin Howard telling us in the ear. And speaking of Quentin Howard and the rest of the crew, throughout the night we'll be talking about the great folks who helped put this broadcast on, the camera crew and graphics crew. So we'll be spotlighting them later on during the ball game because, Corey, clearly we cannot do it by ourselves.
No question about it. Wouldn't be able to do it without them. A great job. Onside kick that I knew it was coming. The ball still loose, and it looks like the Vikings are able to get on top of it. But if you go and look at that kickoff formation, I mentioned it in the pregame that Coach Norman has been known to go to that, especially in that tight formation that they were in. The ball just continued to squirt away from the Hornets and the Vikings, as I thought the Hornets were going to be able to get on top of it. And you kick the ball perfectly along this turf. It does go, and it touches a Viking player first.
Live ball.
It is a live football, and the Hornets right on top of it, just not able to get on top of that greasy pigskin.
Officials timeout at 1 minute and 10 seconds. And Corey, I know your English teacher will be proud of you for foreshadowing that tonight. That was a very good observation at the top of the ball game.
MGM Viking coaching staff dialed into their huddle box on the sidelines, trying to make sure they're able to see and go ahead and make the adjustments that they need to make defensively.
So the gamble doesn't pay off for Baker. Great field position once again for MGM. Their previous series, they had a fumble. Quick run by the Vikings, picks up a couple yards. It's second down.
Just making sure that they get positive yardage on first down. 4 yards gained right there by the Vikings. Very important for them to continue to move and the chains forward. Right here, they would like to get beyond the 50, go deep into the second quarter with possession of this football.
2 turnovers for MGM, an interception and a fumble. They're just trying to get some consistency. Nice run right there once again from the Vikings. Jeremiah Martin. As we approach 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Looks like that's going to be the last play.
I think it will, Corey. I believe they haven't even restarted the play clock yet, so I believe Hollins won't even have to snap this one, down 13 points. And Coach McCain can tell the young man, come to the sideline, let's talk about it, because we need to get a good, consistent drive to give us some points right now.
That's the biggest thing for the Vikings, is to try to move the sticks and put yourself together in a positive offensive situation going into the second quarter.
And there it is, the end of the first quarter. Baker on top, 13-0 over the MGM. We'll be back with second quarter action for the MCPSS High School Game of the Week. Don't move.
The Mobile County Public Schools Environmental Studies Center would like to invite you to their annual open house. Join us on Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come take a tour of the grounds where you can experience live animals and reptiles that are local to our area. There's wildlife shows, arts and crafts, food trucks, and fun for everyone. Don't forget, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the Environmental Studies Center open house.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LaFleur Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician-gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goal. Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit MCPSS.com.
It is time to check your school day calendar. Coming up November 11th, it is Veterans Day, so all MCPSS offices and schools will be closed. Make sure you make a note, November 11th, no school, no work. That pass is incomplete. I do not believe it's a lateral record. Yeah, incomplete pass from Holland.
5th play of the drive for the MGM Vikings. 11:54 remaining here in the second quarter, trailing 13-0. That brings up 4th down and probably about 4.5 yards to go. With where the ball is being spotted at the Viking 48-yard line, you definitely want to make sure that you go ahead and you get a nice punt right here to be able to flip the field.
Chris Brewer on to punt, and to receive Isaiah Dixon lining up at his 20-yard line. MGM received some great field position after the onside kick from Baker, but could not capitalize. So they've had the ball 3 times in the first quarter with no points. Nice punt from Brewer. Dixon thought he was going to fair catch it. He picks it up on the run. It's live. And he is tagged at about the 23-yard line, but 2 flags come in, Corey.
Yeah, you're going to have an obvious penalty called that, like you said, multiple flags on the play, but we'll see what the officials and how they go ahead and decide to mark this one off.
One came from one of the side officials here near us at the press box, and one from one of the officials in the middle of the field. There's a look at who's doing the handling of the duties tonight, led by Mike Smith as he comes with the call.
During the return, we have holding on the receivers. That penalty is declined. We have a block in the back on the receivers. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spotted foul. In this case, it'll be half the distance. It'll be Baker's ball, 1st and 10 at that point.
So that one is really going to sting the Hornets right there, Corey. Half the distance. That's going to push them probably inside of the 10-yard line, ball being spotted at the 8.
You really were able to flip the field in this situation, but if you're the MGM Vikings, you want to continue to pin them deep. As we look at the replay, maybe we can possibly see the block in the back, and we do see the block in the back as the flag comes immediately right there at the point of the penalty of the infraction. And now it's a situation now. The Vikings must hold on, trailing 13-0, keeping the Hornets pinned deep. You're able to flip the field with the punt plus the penalty yardage, and you want to try to stay on this side of the field, the plus side of the 50-yard line.
And half the distance to the goal. Here's our statistician, Chandler Powell, pulling out the abacus there, Corey. That's definitely going to put them in a hole. 1st and 10, ball at about the 8-yard line. Man in motion as they do a little counter action on the run. Jayshon McMillan picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd down and about 5 for Baker. Maybe we'll call it 2nd and 6, about a 4-yard gain from McMillan there.
Positive yardage is the most influential thing for the Hornets, but if you're the Vikings, again, you want to go ahead and keep them pent deep in their own territory.
Handoff once again to McMillan. Gets near the numbers, between the hash and the numbers. Close to the 1st down mark. I believe he possibly may have it. I thought the chains were about to move, so maybe he's just right there. Of course, oh, there they go. Now they're moving. I thought from my vantage point with my binoculars, he picked up the 1st down, and he did.
Right at the 19-yard line, the nose of the ball, the Hornets trying to go ahead and get themselves out of deep territory.
Giving the ball back to the workhorse, Jayshon McMillan. Picks up about 2 yards on the carry. 2nd down for Baker.
One of the things, though, trailing 13-0, creating some type of turnover, whether it is a forced fumble or an interception, finding a way now. You're -2 in the plus-minus turnover situation. You got to find a way here to stop the Baker Hornets if you're the Vikings.
2nd down and about 7. A little quick out to Leo Richards, and they are going to connect with Jayshon McMillan, but it is interrupted, I believe, by Ty McMillan, yeah.
And he stays home in his secondary situation and saves a touchdown.
I mean,
when
that
you
was
actually look at it. Ty McMillan, the 6-foot, 165-pound senior, on the replay. It was a lateral.
Yep.
The throw could be made, and from his cornerback position, he does a good job of closing in on the ball and knocking it away.
Ball hung up a bit there from Richards, but McMillan was wide open. But great play by Ty McMillan to break that up. No surprise, Baker going for a little kill shot here. Up 13 points, 3rd and 7. Summerlin rolling out. McMillan is wide open at the top. He connects with him as he crossed the midfield stripe, and it's a race against Trey Umbarger. who pulls him out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Johnny on the spot. Trey Umbarger saves the touchdown for MGM.
Great sportsmanship shown after the play, but
Yeah.
we saw that throw earlier missed. And this time he comes out of the backfield and he puts it on the money. Does your quarterback for the Baker offense. Great job by Nick Summerlin hooking up with his running back, Jay-Sean McMillan. Positive yardage. Now the Hornets have definitely flipped the field back on the MGM Vikings.
Inside the red zone, ball at the 19-yard line. Looking over to the sideline, Justin Patterson for the play call.
Play clocks are at 0. Looks like it may be kept on the field now by the officials because our alternate official, who was the 40-second clock operator, is now a game official.
Good observation there, Corey. You're right. It has not run. Wildcat once again. And this one may pay off for Baker. DeMarquez Williams close to another first down, and I believe he picks it up. It may be 1st and goal for the Hornets.
The Hornets knocking on the door, Al, but when you have them pent deep off of the penalty and the punt, you could not keep them in their own side of the field. Now the Hornets have an opportunity at 1st and goal at about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, it's the 7-yard line, and I believe Coach Steve Norman wants to discuss it. He has called a timeout at 9:20 remaining here in the second quarter. Take a look at some of the key region games. Blunt is on top 8-0 over Daphne. Saraland has come back and picked up a touchdown, 10-6 over Spanish Fort, and St. Paul's all over Robertsdale, 27-6. Let's recap it, Corey. We pretty much know if St. Paul's gets this victory, they're going to be in. But the key game right there is Daphne and Blunt tonight over at Trojan Stadium.
Trent Battle, the tremendous quarterback for the Trojans. Again, a Power 5 candidate. Lev Holly and his stingy defense, led by Lee Hunter, so far have held the Trojans to 0 points.
Baker comes into the ball game tonight averaging 21 points a game on offense, and they're trying to punch this one into the end zone to hit their average, and so far their offense has been clicking on all cylinders tonight, being led by workhorse Jay-Sean McMillan from his running back position. He's been even doing some wildcat action, Corey.
Want to see how they're able to capitalize right here at 1st to go on the 7-yard line. They relied on the push earlier and laid a quarterback wildcat situation in the red zone area. Now it looks like McMillan is going to come back exactly to where his familiar position is in the red zone area at wildcat.
It's wildcat again. He keeps it, got a big hole, but it clogs up quickly. Ball is out. I think he picked it back up. So it'll be 2nd down and goal for Baker.
Good stop by the Vikings, and that's going to be Sean Maxwell, the 6'1", 180-pound junior from his linebacker position, making the stop. 2nd down and goal to go for the Hornets.
No gain on the play. Ball still at the 7-yard line. Jay-Sean McMillan's jersey number is number 7, and he keeps it, but he's going to toss it to Cade Collier. There's it is, the Tebow jump pass, Corey, complete for 7 yards, and Baker's on top 20-0.
Great job of utilizing your 6'6" tight end to where Jay-Sean McMillan was not going to miss him. The flow of the defense was looking to Jay-Sean McMillan. Slipping from the line of scrimmage was the huge tight end. He wasn't going to drop that. 6 more points on the board for the Baker Hornets.
Engel on for the extra point. Boots this one up, and it is good. So Baker now on top 20-0 over MGM. That is McMillan's 2nd touchdown. He ran one in, and he has just thrown one. And let's throw it down to the field and check in with Kimberly Dunn.
I think so far we've seen a lot of explosive plays from both of these teams, putting forth their best effort to get on the board and to make scores, but so far Baker has had that edge. They have come prepared to make known that they want their chance to be in the playoffs, and so they are going to do everything that they can to fight to make that happen.
That's right, Kimberly. We know they have to win to get in tonight, Corey, but they got to get some help.
Yeah, I agree. 20-0. The Baker Hornets coming out and pulling out all stops.
Yeah.
You look at the onside kick that was not successful, but you go ahead and you pull that out, and then you turn around and your running back throws a touchdown to the tight end in the red zone area. The Hornets absolutely flipped the field in that situation.
Similar situation to what we had last week where Theodore was on top 20-0 in the first quarter against MGM. And right there, McGill 7-0 over Fairhope, and Murphy on top of Bryant 7-0 as well. C.J. Wallace with the kickoff return. He's brought down at about the 17-yard line.
Going to be imperative that the Vikings don't go 3 and out right here. 8:39 remaining here in the second quarter, trailing 20-0 over the Baker Hornets. Trailing 20-0 to the Baker Hornets, rather. Al, if the MGM Vikings are able to sustain some type of momentum on this drive and get any type of points on the board, give their fans on this side of the stadium, the press box side of the stadium, something to cheer about, we look opposite us, and the Baker side is totally full. They're sitting cheek to cheek on the far sideline, staying warm.
And the Hornet band has been playing all night, Corey, so you would think maybe it's their home game, but it's not. It's just the Battle of West Mobile, so everybody's going to come out. Ashton Holland's coming out right now. The ball comes out. Is he down? I believe he is down. Officials mark him down at the 31-yard line, so 11-yard gain for Hollins. He picks it up. At halftime, we're going to do the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, our last one of the season. And I'm sure Kimberly's going to get a big winner tonight. She'll go into the stands, pick a spectator, ask them a question, give them that multiple choice answer and see if they select it correctly. And then the cow will dance, and all the guys and girls in the truck will dance as well as the cow dances for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Up the middle on the carry for MGM, Jeremiah Martin. Maybe a credit of 1 yard on the run, 2nd down and 9 for the Vikings.
What you have to do now, you have to control the line of scrimmage. If you're the Baker Hornets, you don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard knowing that you're winning 20-0. Again, you want to play every down like it's your last one. If you're the Vikings, you just want to put a string of plays together that will not only allow this clock to run, but give you a little momentum as well.
And we know MGM can strike. We've seen them do it before. Little quick out to Kelton Young. He can't bring it in. 3rd down for MGM.
That's one of those catches that you absolutely have to have.
Got
Hit
to.
him right in both of his hands. Just did not look the football all the way in. 3rd down and long to go. That's a long 9 yards for the Vikings when you're trailing 20-0.
Look at the Baker band over there, and they are clowning, Corey. I'm sure they brought a few of those Hornet hooligans with them out tonight to ES Grider Memorial Field. 3rd and long here for MGM. Hollins in the huddle, and they break. Play clock is not operational. One of the officials went down earlier. So they had to bring an alternate official in. We have a stoppage in play. I believe Coach Stan McCain has called timeout, and he has. He wants to discuss things with his crew. Take a look at the coaches comparison. We just talked about Stan McCain there. Let's put both of the coaches up. Visiting Coach Baker, Steve Norman, in his first full season at Baker, is 9-7 overall, a graduate of BC Rain in South Alabama. Hobbies, he likes to spend time with the family. If he wasn't a football coach or educator, of course, said he'd be working in the medical field. And Coach, guy we're familiar with, Stan McCain, our 4th time seeing him this season in the MGM Vikings, retired from Mississippi, has a career winning percentage of .576, graduated from Waynesboro High School and the University of West Alabama. Some people may remember that is Livingston University some years ago. And asked him at Media Day, should we have an early signing period in December or should it remain or go away? He said it should remain. He's good for it.
Well, I tell you what, who's going to be good for it right here is this MGM Vikings offense if they can get a 1st down going.
3rd and long here, Ashton Hollins. They're going back to the same play. Kel Young has it. And he is trying to get some yards, but cannot as the Baker Hornets swarm, and that is a big loss for MGM. It pushes them to 4th down.
Jordan Davis does a wonderful job coming up from his defensive back position, making the stop for the Hornets.
Chris Brewer on to punt, and back to receive this one is DeMarquez Williams. We've called his name a lot tonight on offense. They've been running a lot of sweeps as he sets up at his own 40-yard line. We know Brewer can punt it. He has a pretty substantial leg. Almost blocked. This one kind of goes up and comes right back down. Not very much distance on it, Corey. And that ball is going to be downed at the 39-yard line. And the line they had the ball was at was the 31, Corey.
That's a tough situation to where when you look at where the ball is marked, the 39-yard line of the Vikings. The Hornets take over with another opportunity with 6:36 remaining here in the second quarter to strike again. They definitely smell blood in the water in this game.
I'll say this, it could have been some wind there. It is coming out of the north a bit. Murphy picks up another score on top, 14-0 over Bryant. The Hornets are pulling for the Hurricanes to beat Murphy tonight. If they get a win and Murphy loses, they'll be in the playoffs. But if Murphy wins, that is it for Baker. Win or lose, they'll be out.
Positive yardage on first down for the Hornets. Jayshon McMillan goes back to his running back position behind his quarterback, Nick Summerlin.
Summerlin rolling out, going over the top, trying to connect with Leo Richards, and flag on the play.
Oh,
Richards
what a throw.
says
What
he actually
a
comes
catch.
up with it. Wow.
What a catch.
I didn't know he had brought it in,
he
Corey.
He did. He absolutely brought it in. It looked like he brought it in with one hand with the defender on his back.
Take a look at it.
Possibly pass interference. You look at Nick Summerlin dropping back, absolutely drops the dime. But look at the one-handed grab. Outstanding catch, and it's going to be, I don't see the offensive pass interference. I want to see it again, Al.
Oh, my goodness. That is coming back, Corey.
I think that's tough. I mean,
here's the call here from Mike Smith.
It is going to be offensive pass interference.
During the pass, we had pass interference against the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll replay second down.
Steve Norman is without words on the far side of the field, Corey.
Thank you guys for bringing that back up again. Look at Summerlin's pass. You look at the wide receiver on the play right before our cameras zoom into it. They show the catch with one hand, but not before he gets pushed off.
I believe the previous replay from the other angle may have shown possibly the push off.
Right.
But I thought the pass was incomplete, but Richards comes up with the ball like, I got the fish right here in my hand.
What a catch. No matter how you look at it, that's one for the highlight reel.
They handed off to DeMarquez Williams on the sweep. This play has been working all night for Baker. I'm surprised the MGM hasn't figured that one out.
Third down
and long here.
15 yards to go now for the Hornets. And, you know, no need to panic. You don't need to throw an interception here. We saw them with 4 turnovers a few weeks ago against the Fairhope Pirates, but Baker just needs to take their time, make sure they don't turn the football over.
Cade Collier releases up the middle. They're trying to go to him, and that's an interception. He was floating in the flat right there, and that ball is intercepted by Ty McMillan. First turnover. Corey, you just said it. No need to go for it, and they do it.
You don't have to force that football in that situation. If it's not there, go ahead and eat it. Throw the ball out of bounds or scramble out of the pocket. Worst case scenario, take the sack. But you don't want to turn the ball over and give the Vikings any type of momentum. Now the Vikings have to capitalize off of that momentum. We do a good job of bringing up the replay. Summerlin rolls to his right, throws back across his body. A nice tight spiral. Tried to hit his tight end, Cade Collier, but did not throw the football far enough.
Hand off to Edgerrin Houston, and boy, he hits a wall of Hornets, and he's pushed back for maybe about a 1-yard gain, and a late flag comes in.
That's going to be on Devin Nobles, I do believe.
Getting a little chippy down there on the field, Corey.
picked him up and body slammed him WWE style.
Wow.
Did Nobles.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, lifting the runner up and slamming them to the ground. That penalty results in a first down.
So we had a little local Friday night smackdown on that one, Corey. My, here it is.
He just lifts him up and shows him that he's been in the weight room, because poor Adrian Houston, he only weighs maybe 145 pounds, but in this day and age of tackle football, that is illegal and a penalty.
But you got to keep your head in the game, as you just talked about. You're up 20-0. You don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard and give up a score. They've given up the turnover, and free 15 right there. And Ashton Hollins, they're trying to rip the ball out. That's what they're trained to do on defense. Go for the swipe, but he holds on to it this time.
And you have to be pretty strong to hold on to that football with the defenders ripping and clawing at you in that situation. Now we're looking at 2nd down and 12 yards to go for the Vikings with 4:35 remaining here in the second quarter.
And we know the intensity of this ball game, Corey. It's the Battle of West Mobile. They could both be 0-9, but it's still going to be a well-played game.
And, you know, one of the things that's interesting is this week here along the Gulf Coast, rain kind of forced these teams inside to alternative practice sites, and that's kind of tough. You almost lose a day and a half of practice because you're not able to go full speed because of how wet it is.
Hand off to Edrin Houston. Picks up a couple. The other big thing, they have the big pep rally they have over at the Whataburger, and the rain kind of came in, kind of flushed that one out a little bit, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday night. So it kind of wasn't what it normally is as we take a look at more scores coming in. Blunt still on top of Daphne. Saraland 10-6. St. Paul's has picked up another touchdown, but Robertsdale gets on the board, but down 34-6.
3rd down and 9 yards to go for the MGM Vikings as we're approaching halftime here at E.S. Grider Memorial Field here in Sims, Alabama. The Vikings just trying to find any type of offensive consistency, as I believe they probably, as China Powell, our great statistician this entire season, can probably tell us, they've only probably gotten maybe 2 or 3 first downs the entire half so far.
Houston goes in motion to the far side of the field. We have a stoppage, and I believe a timeout has been
Offsides.
called. I didn't see the flag. Oh, there it is at the top. Offsides by Baker there.
Wait a second. Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. Still 3rd down. What?
So it'll be a free 5 for MGM there. Coming up at halftime, the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge is just around the corner. Going to try to get our last winner of the season. And we'll all watch the cow dance one final time when Kimberly Dunn gets that winner inside the stands for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
China Powell, our great statistician, lets me know that there's only 1 first down that has been gotten so far by the Vikings here in the first half.
3rd down and about 5 here. Ball sitting at the 44-yard line of MGM. 3:04 remaining in the first half. Adrian Houston once again runs in motion to the top of the screen. Empty set. Hollins has to run it. It's all on him right now, and he does not have the blockers, Corey. That's no gain, and once again, 4th down for MGM.
What it will do, though, it will give the Baker Hornets an opportunity with the clock running at 2:40 here in the second quarter to kind of redeem themselves offensively off of that last turnover, trying to punch and put 6 more on the board before we go to halftime.
I believe Baker has 2 timeouts remaining. Steve Norman called one before they picked up their last touchdown to kind of set things up so they can manage the clock how they like to. DeMarquez Williams sets up at his own 21-yard line. See if Brewer can get a good one off here, much better than the last punt. Fair catch called by Williams at about the 27-28-yard line. So 2:09 remaining here in the first half. Corey, if you're Coach Norman, what are you doing? You want to go for the kill shot? You want to get some points in this situation right now?
I think that if you go ahead and you run the football, that's the safe thing to do. Taking care of the football, go ahead and run this clock into halftime, knowing that you're chewing up clock, you're taking care of valuing the pigskin. If you bust a big one past the line of scrimmage, we know the speed that Jay Sean McMillan possesses.
Williams in motion. They give it off to McMillan. He's got a big hole right through the A-gap. And that's enough for the first down. The clock will stop momentarily for the change to reset. Big run by Ja'Shawn McMillan.
That's exactly what I would do. I would continue to feed the horse and try to get him over 100 rushing yards for the half, as he had an extremely great first possession of the game for the Baker Hornets. A couple of long runs and a couple of long pass catches by McMillan, but I would continue to feed him in this situation.
That Baker offensive line averages 264 pounds across the front. Williams on the sweep. If he can get past that defender, but not Trey Umbarger, is that a face mask? We saw him go down oddly there, but no flags. It'll be second down.
He does stay in bound. The clock continues to run on the play. 1:25 remaining now for the Hornets. And again, you just want to keep this ball in the play. You don't want to run out of bounds unless you're having a long reception from a pass play that is called.
Second and about 7. Same play as the first down. They give this one back to McMillan. Sean Maxwell and the crew, they're on top of that one. So we're almost under 1 minute here. Third down and about six yards to go for Baker. Try to pick up a first down.
I think that's a safe play call by offensive coordinator Justin Patterson. And third down, we're going to have the timeout.
I think we have a timeout by Coach Norman here as he takes his second timeout. As we get a look at a buzz there from Baker, mascot on the sidelines.
Sean Smith and David Armstrong, the boys basketball coach, on the sidelines as well.
Saw him before the ball game. Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge is just around the corner. Kimberly Dunn will go into the stands and get a spectator, ask them a question. Hopefully they'll get it right on the first try, Core, with multiple choice. Last week at MGM, we had a multiple choice game of the week brain buster for you. And Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge coming up. See if you can render us a guess possibly with that, Corey. You like those multiple choice questions.
I do. I mean, you know, I'm 1 for 1 in that situation. You know, again, I don't know if you'll go multiple choice again this week, but if you don't, I'm batting 1,000 so far with your multiple choice situations.
I tried to set you up and put the answer somewhere out there. Okay, that'd be the sucker answer. And literally, I know you said, well, I'm going to go with C for Corey. And doggone it, that was the answer. Corey does it again. Third down and 5 here for Baker. As you talked about earlier, Corey, before they had that interception, no need to do anything harsh or miss themselves or shoot themselves in the foot here. Summerlin is going to be brought down. Just take the sack, young man. Hold on to the ball. And that'll take Baker to fourth down. He could not connect with his receivers. We'll just call that one a coverage sack right there, basically.
Cedric Davis, the 5'10", 175-pound senior, with the stop on the play for the Vikings. Looks like the Hornets will have to punt this football away. The 40-second clock, or the play clock, is being kept on the field because our alternate official did have to come from the press box area and become a game official.
Right. Josh LeBourgeois on to punt the second time tonight, and I would not be surprised if Coach Norman burns the last time out right before the play clock expires. As he does, he won't take the penalty for the 5 yards.
20-0, our score here in Sims, Alabama, in the first half of action in this 7A Region 1 matchup, the Battle of West Mobile.
Big ball game, playoff possibilities at stake for Baker tonight. We've talked about them having to win this ball game and then get some help from Bryant. They are playing Murphy tonight. In essence, they need Bryant to beat Murphy, and Baker needs to win. And right now, Bryant is down 14 points. Fairhope down 7 points to McGill-Tulane. That game being played at the Lip. McGill-Tulane, the only undefeated team, 7A team in the state of Alabama, Core, remaining.
That's pretty impressive statistic when you look at it, because the number 23 team in the country, the Thompson Warriors, did fall 1 week ago and were upset and dethroned.
Take a look at the 6A scores right quick. St. Paul still on top of Robertsdale, as you can see. Pretty much if they get a win there, they're going to be in. But the critical ball game is Blunt and Daphne in the second quarter. Blunt still up 8-0. And Spanish Fort still has hope alive as well. If they can pull that upset over Saraland, that's going to put them in a good spot. fake Le Bourgeois throws it, but overthrows Leo Richards. And that's just enough to have the game clock to run out, Corey. Baker on top 20-0 over MGM. Interesting first half. We had two turnovers from MGM and a late turnover in the second quarter by Baker that gave MGM a shot, but they couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, but not before the damage was done. Now you look at the Baker Hornets leading 20-0, pulling out all the stops. We've seen the onside kickoff that was unsuccessful. We see them with the fake punt right there, going for the gusto right before the end of the half. Steve Norman has to tell his guys just to stay focused in the second half. Can't control anything but your own momentum going into the second half.
We could also see workhorse for Baker, Ja'Shawn McMillan, putting in an early possible candidacy for the Career Tech Education Player of the Game because he's thrown for a touchdown and run for a touchdown tonight.
Been very versatile for the Baker Hornets. We missed him a couple of weeks ago as he was injured on our broadcast against the Fairhope Pirates, but we can see what a difference this young man makes for this Baker Hornet offense.
Man, you can really see what happened that night because Fairhope just ran that ball up and down against Baker. But tonight, you can see how McMillan, when he comes to the offense, playing wildcat, playing running back, he is doing a lot, almost like a Swiss Army knife for Coach Steve Norman.
Very important for the Baker Hornets, again, not to get caught looking at the scoreboard, to go ahead and play this game like it's 0-0. The Vikings can establish some type of momentum offensively. All it takes is that one big play to get your crowd involved. And I know if anybody can give his team a great pep talk, it's the great Coach Steve McCain of the Vikings.
Yeah, you're right about that. Matter of fact, we're going to try to take it down to the field, but we can't get in contact with Kimberly Dunn, so we'll go to the break and come back with halftime action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
I was able to speak with Coach Norman before he entered the locker room with his team and ask him, how have you felt about your team's performance so far tonight? And he said that he's very positive about what they've been able to do. He definitely thinks that the turnovers have been very beneficial to his team. He's proud of the defense. He feels like they could make more progress as far as the offense goes. And he said what we just have to do is just maintain making progress and not have turnovers ourselves, because that's what has hurt MGM so bad tonight. So he just said if we can just stay on top of it, take care of the ball, and then we can hopefully secure this win tonight.
All right, thank you, Kimber. We appreciate that. Coach Norman and his Hornets on top 20-0 right now. Let's take a look at some of the statistics from the first half. A great job by China Powell doing statistics for us all season, so got to give her a round of applause early, Corey.
The rushing yards by the Baker Hornets, 136 to 42. Passing yards, 67 to -8. For MGM, 203 total yards for the Baker Hornets, only 34 for the Vikings. You look at the turnover situations, 2 for MGM, 1 for Baker, 4 penalties for 45 yards for the Hornets, 1 for 5 for MGM. If you're looking for any type of sunshine in that locker room by head coach Stan McCain, it's going to be the fact that, hey guys, we haven't played our best game here and we have plenty of time left, a long 24 minutes remaining to try to finish this game up strong for the Vikings. All it takes is one score to get momentum going.
It does, and not out of it. Corey, if you look at the penalties right there, we know Baker picked up those 4 penalties in the second quarter, and some of them were just mental mistakes that they didn't have to do. They shot themselves in the foot. So you're right, Coach McCain and the Vikings, they're not out of this ball game. They just need to get some positive momentum going.
And that's what they have to have try to offensively find a way to have success passing the football. I know when you're trailing 20-0, that's the tendency that you have to lean to, being able to complete those passes. But we've seen a lot of drops. A lot of the footballs have hit the wide receivers in the hands.
Correct.
So it's not like the throws have not been on the money. You just have to mentally get yourself in tune and make sure that you're holding and looking at that football all the way in, because we've seen the Vikings trail 16-0 before and all of a sudden just come with 14 unanswered in a blitz offensively. So we know what they're capable of doing.
As Kimberly gets set up for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, we'll take it down to the field right quick, take a look at some of the action. It is senior night here at Mary G. Montgomery, the 7th largest school in the state of Alabama, playing the 2nd largest school in the state of Alabama. And when you have schools this size, Corey, we've seen it at Baker before, you have to do pregame stuff, halftime, and probably postgame stuff for all the families and kids you have here.
You get your band involved, and when you have that many band members who are taking part on senior night, it's always important for them to go ahead and be able to be active at halftime instead of when they're introducing the other auxiliary members and the football players, such as the cheerleaders as well.
Yeah, we're out here in the city of Sims covering Baker and Mary G. Montgomery. Also, we're going to take a look at those playoff scenarios. Once again, we know 4A and 5A are pretty much set. We know who's in there, but all of the drama, everything's revolving around this ball game tonight with 7A Region 1 and then 6A Region 1. So let's talk about what our situation is here. McGill-Tulane is in with number 1. Theodore is number 2. They'll both be hosting. I believe Theodore is going to be hosting Prattville next week, Corey. And McGill, the Park Crossings, I believe, is possibly coming down to play them.
Yeah, the biggest thing that you have to understand if you're the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets, being the number 1 seed, that's great. You have an opportunity to see your opponent play Theodore this week, so that's huge. And in back-to-back weeks, you're going to be looking at your opponent. But if you're, again, our MCPSS schools such as Theodore, who 1 year ago was the number 1 overall seed in 7A Region 1, you have to find a way to come away with that first-round playoff victory because, again, so far, McGill-Tulane is the only team that's been able to secure that. Again, Murphy is just trying to control their own destiny, leading 14-0 right now over Bryan, and McGill-Tulane leading Fairhope as well.
And we know with Murphy, if they win, they are in, and if they win, they are possibly pretty much going to be the number 3 seed because they beat Fairhope earlier in the season, so they have the tiebreaker over Fairhope. But we know if Murphy loses and Baker wins tonight, Baker's going to get in because a couple weeks ago, Baker beat Murphy at home. So, but first and foremost, Baker has to win tonight. They're on top 20-0, and right now in command. So that's what's going on with 7A Region 1. Take it over to 6A. We know a lot happening right here. Saraland is in. They're the number 1 team in the 6A Region 1 in the region and in the state. But Blunt and Daphne right now, Blunt on top 8-0 the last time we checked in it. And it's looking like whoever wins that game, Corey, will get in, but also St. Paul's will get in with a win over Robertsdale. And they're under commanding control. We saw earlier 35-6 over Robertsdale. But if St. Paul's wins and Spanish Fort loses, you're looking like the Blunt-Daphne winner will get that other position. And then it'll come down between Daphne and Spanish Fort. And you can't forget about the forfeit that Daphne had to give up to Spanish Fort early in the season for playing an ineligible player.
Blunt up now 15-0 in the second quarter over the Daphne Trojans. Saraland leading Spanish Fort 10-6 at halftime. Also some other scores. The Theodore Bobcats leading Enterprise 21-0. McGill-Tulane up 10-7 over Fairhope. Just some other scores that are going on from around this area.
All right, Corey, appreciate those updates. We're going to take a quick break right quick, then come back with the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. We'll take it down into the stands and let Kimberly Dunn get our last winner of the season. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
The Mobile County Public Schools Environmental Studies Center would like to invite you to their annual open house. Join us on Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come take a tour of the grounds where you can experience live animals and reptiles that are local to our area. There's wildlife shows, arts and crafts, food trucks, and fun for everyone. Don't forget, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the Environmental Studies Center open house.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. It is time for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Let's take it down to the stands and hand it over to Kimberly Dunn.
We are here with our Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, and it's our last one of this season. And Abria Turner is going to give our awesome trivia question a shot. And you're a 9th grader here at MGM?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you think about the last game of the season? Has it been a good season?
Yeah, it's been a good season. Pretty good, nice, I would say.
Okay, are you ready for our question?
Yeah, let's go and get it over with.
Get it over with. Okay. I think you'll do good. It's multiple choice, not too hard, okay? This tree is a native to the southeastern United States, okay? So it's found along the coastal plains from East Texas to Maryland, and it's also the state tree of Alabama, okay? So is it the southern pecan tree, the longleaf pine tree, the peach tree, or the weeping willow tree?
Longleaf pine tree?
Yes! Oh, you got it on the first try. Good job. All right, you win our awesome Chick-fil-A prize pack. There's some really cool goodies in here, as long as some stuff for the Mobile County Public School System. And the best part to me is those Chick-fil-A gift cards. So hopefully you'll find a friend to go with you to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that. The Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, she got it on the first try, so we appreciate that. And also thanks to Chick-fil-A for sponsoring the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge all season long. So, are you ready for a career change or looking to make a change in a young person's life? Well, Mobile County Public Schools is looking for you. There are currently several openings for teachers to fill classroom vacancies, and there are multiple pathways, making it easier than ever to become a teacher. Whether you have a calling or desire to teach, there is room for you within Mobile County Public Schools. We now introduce you to some teachers who would like to share their story.
I came from a family of educators. My mom, my sisters, my aunts. I have a lot of family members in education, and it was always something that they came home and talked about, so I've always had a desire to do the same thing. I have always wanted to teach. More importantly, I was an athlete and I wanted to coach, so that kind of put the nail on the head as far as, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to go work with young people, especially adolescents. I knew high school was the level that I really wanted to work with.
Codons, every 3 letters on a messenger article.
With me being from out of town or out of state, Louisiana, coming into Mobile County, and I always felt at home. I feel like all the people in Baker and in Mobile County in general, the Human Resource Department, the whole transition coming in here was very warm and welcoming. I immediately felt like I was part of the family. I wasn't an out-of-towner, because a lot of people who graduate within Mobile County come back and work within Mobile County. So it was very comforting for me to know that someone that did not go to school here could come in, with open arms and transition very easily. I would definitely recommend Mobile County to those about to graduate in education. We have a very warm family atmosphere. We all work together. One of the things that I love about Mobile County that I didn't get in my last school system is the cooperative teaching that we do. So you never feel like you're doing it alone. We team up with other teachers that are teaching the same subject area, and we plan together, we work together, we brainstorm together. And so, you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's truly a team effort.
First year working with Mobile County so far. It's been really good, as well as challenging, because it's my first year and I'm still learning how to do things, what to do as a first year teacher. So I'm learning new tricks and strategies that hopefully I will be better at next year. So it's just been a little bit challenging as a first year teacher. It is very scary coming in as a first year teacher, because you go to college and they teach you these things, and you go field experience in other classes, but you're always with another teacher. It's not your very own classroom. The administrative support is pretty good here as well. Our administration does support us. If we need anything, they don't hesitate to help us. So there is some administration support here as well that helps along with your grade level support. I do like that it's very close to the beach. I was from the Bayou, and that was only like a 15-20 minute drive from Dauphin Island, so the beach was right there. I do like the downtown area and also this is the birthplace of Mardi Gras, so I do like that too. There's Christmas parades, Mardi Gras parade, just a lot of things to do and a lot of activities to do here. I would recommend Mobile County Schools for someone who's searching because I believe it's a really good school system. You have support, you have so many resources, especially within Mobile County, to help you, and they have the first year teacher training as well, which kind of helps you get into teaching.
The reason why I started teaching was because I knew that I wanted to inspire children, and at a very early age as a child, I knew that teaching was my calling. The reason I chose Mobile County was because this is my home, not to mention that E.R. Dixon was also my home place to start my education as a child. So I wanted to give back to my community. As far as being a new teacher in Mobile County, I know especially here at E.R. Dixon, you will get professional development, you'll have a mentor, and you'll have plenty of people that you can lean on, administration, coaches, math and reading coaches, intervention teachers that will all help you. And you'll be working as a team to make sure that children are successful. I received professional development. I also had a mentor when I started teaching. In addition, I had my grade level, so I could ask plenty of questions to all the time, whether it be over the weekend or first thing in the morning. I definitely think that we as Mobile County do a wonderful job of providing the support that you need as a new teacher, professional development, whether it be co-workers, mentors, you have a team all the time to help you and guide you through teaching. It makes you feel like you have your place, you have your home. And here I'm already at home, but just to know that when you come here, you have a second family. I'm excited to be a part of Mobile County. Every morning when I wake up, I'm so excited to get to school. And the most important thing is just to see my children and laugh with them and know that we're not just helping that child learn Common Core or Wonders or whatever the program is that we're following, but helping them to grow as an individual. Because these kids are going to be, whether they're here in Mobile County or in another state, we want them to be true examples of leaders and successful and responsible citizens. And when people say, where did you go to school? Mobile County.
Remember, if you're interested in becoming a teacher, visit MCPSS.com. Baker on top right now, 20-0 over MGM. We'll take a quick look at some of the key games going on before we take a break and come back with revisit Corey's checklist. A lot of things taking place tonight in 7A and 6A, so critical games holding playoff possibilities. Right now, Blunt on top of Daphne, as we can see on that game right there. Saraland 10-6 still over Spanish Fort, and St. Paul's on top of Robertsdale 34-6 in 7A. We know right now Baker's winning 20-0, and over at Ladd Stadium, Murphy on top 14-0 over Bryant, and McGill-Tulin 10-7 over Fairhope. We'll take a quick break, come back, and look once again at Corey's checklist for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, I'm Renee Phillips, your host of Homeroom. Will you join us as we talk with the students, teachers, and staff about all of the great things happening in our schools?
That's right, Renee. Not only are we here to keep you informed about the great things happening in our schools, but to also keep you updated on safety issues.
Our show, Safe Schools, looks at ways to keep your child and our students safe.
Not only are we looking at ways to keep your child and our students safe, but to keep you informed on how to connect with us.
Manténgase informado aquí en Conexión a Padres.
And we also score big from pre-K to high school with MCPSS athletics.
And then Inside Education puts it all together for you, showing you the ins and outs about news and events taking place across the Mobile County Public School District. We do this to keep you informed.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Whedon, Cora LeBounty down on the sidelines. We have Kimberly Dunn. Cora, we've been enjoying the sounds of the DJ. No band tonight. We've had Dixieland Delight, Sweet Caroline, and right now Journey is being crunk through the stadium speakers.
A great selection here in Sims, Alabama at halftime, and it jumps me right into my checklist. Get you in that mood to keep the blood flowing in this cold, cold environment. It finally feels like football weather. You look at MGM, what they have to do. They had to control the line of scrimmage in the first half, weren't able to do so as Baker was able to punch it in on their first possession. They have to tackle as vicious Vikings. Yards after contact have been huge for the Baker Hornets. And also, they need to win the turnover battle at halftime right now. MGM has turned the ball over twice. Baker only once. So that's key right there. You're looking for the Baker Hornets.
Hey, Cora, speaking of MGM, let's talk to her. She has Coach Stan McCain with her right now.
So far tonight.
Not too pleased the first half. We got out-hustled, out-everything the first half.
So what did you say to your team to help get them motivated, get them prepared to come into the second half and execute?
Well, I mean, our coaches just talked to them about what was going on and how to fix it, and, nothing that we hadn't practiced. So
hopefully they can come out here and execute what y'all done.
I hope they do.
All right, well, best of luck to y'all tonight. I know this is a rivalry game, and so it being the last game of the season, it means a lot, but especially being a rival.
Yeah, it always does, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, Kimberly. Cora, let's get back to your checklist right quick for Baker. We had a quick interview with Coach Stan McCain there.
Be buzzing around the quarterback. They made Ashton Collins uncomfortable for the MGM Vikings. We mentioned that he had -8 passing yards here in the first half.
Right.
Special teams play. We've seen Steve Norman throw the kitchen sink and give people on film a lot to look at tonight, attempting the onside kick as well as going for the fake punt. And the young and the restless. Baker Hornets, they're restless, looking at halftime, trying to see what the Murphy score is at Ladd Peebles Stadium. And again, this Baker Hornet team is extremely young. You look 1 year ago, head coach Steve Norman had the interim tag on his name with the Baker Hornets, but 1 year later, now this is his first year as the full-time head coach of the Baker Hornet program.
And Baker Hornets out there doing side straddle hops right now, Corey, before we get ready for the second half. Let's talk about that. Last year, Coach Norman stepped up to the plate, got the interim title. They had lost 3 in a row, and then Baker runs off 5 victories. They finished the season 5-2, but unfortunately, those losses were key critical region losses, and they didn't make the playoffs, but they ended as one of the hottest teams in the area.
Now we're in a situation here 1 year later to where they had that huge win over the Murphy Panthers.
Right.
The unfortunate loss to the Bryant Hurricanes in region play, but now they're trying to go ahead and finish up the season 5-5 as reclassification is getting ready to take place in the offseason during this football season. This being the last matchup right here of these 7A Region 1 opponents this season, because when reclassification comes in January, you're not quite sure how it will fill itself out.
Got to thank Firehouse Subs all season for doing what they've done for us. Thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location. Corey, they've taken care of us and fed us the entire season. So thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman for everything they did for us. Plus Future Ones, where you can get your team apparel and equipment. They outfitted us. And tonight we got the Future One Parkers on. And Corey, we need it because we needed to get wrapped up. We are definitely wearing the future, and we're wearing it right now.
Trying to stay warm up here atop the press box in Sims, Alabama. The temperature continues to drop, but I tell you what, The Vikings are looking to drop the hammer and roll the oars here in the second half on that scoreboard and get that donut off of the board.
And speaking of the scoreboard, Corey, as we went to halftime, John Vila from AL.com asked him to come over. I said, the score is 20-0, right? He said, yeah. Looked at the scoreboard. It reflects 21-0. Still reflects 21-0.
I say the first extra point was missed and no good, so it's definitely 20-0.
Yeah. I thought it was good, but they said it was no good. But, you know, I thought we had it 20-0. Kel Young, boy, that's going to be a late hit, Corey. Wow, he was leveled out of bounds.
And you look at the flag was thrown and came away from some 20 yards away. But that's an easy call to make right here on MGM sidelines. And it will be a free 15 yards here to start the second half on top of Kelton Young's return. But I tell you what, when you get popped out of bounds, when the weather is this cold
frigid,
now, you definitely feel that.
So there's the call right there. 15 yards will be assessed
First down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 41-yard line.
Couldn't quite hear Whitehead Mike Smith there, the PA guy, put it out, but it's 1st and 10 for MGM, ball at their own 41-yard line. Great field position for the Vikings, Corey.
New quarterback in the game here to start the second half of action for the MGM Vikings as well.
Isaac Bozeman, the sophomore, and they come in with a big jumbo package. We've seen them run that in goal line situations where they bring in some extra backers and put them in the backfield. So Bozeman comes out to start the second half, maybe get some energy going on here for the Vikings.
That's exactly what you want to do. Get that shot in the arm. Just brings another dimension to this MGM Vikings offense.
Handoff up the middle. Dominique Ezel, typically the short distance runner that they use, but we've seen him in other situations as well. Big run by Ezel, and he is into Baker Hornets territory.
The deepest that they've been into Baker Hornets territory. A great job of the offensive line opening up the hole right in between the guard and the tackle, and a good job of hitting the hole.
1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line. Hand off to Dominic Ezel once again. Looks like Coach McCain is going to go for the big bruising attack, maybe going to set up the pass if they have run 3 consecutive times. A little chippy down on the field there.
And that's one of the things that they're talking about right now, warning both teams.
Yeah, no flags are thrown, but I believe the warning is being issued.
Unsportsmanlike called against the Vikings, and unsportsmanlike called against the Hornets. And again, both those are offsetting.
I didn't see the flag myself, Corey, but maybe they just say, look, we're going to call it and put it against both of you. Do keep in mind, MGM did receive a sideline warning early in the first quarter, so if they receive another, it will be a penalty against the Vikings.
And what Stan McCain is asking for right now is an explanation of numbers. He needs to know exactly what player was doing it and what player was involved, and it was given to by the white hat, Mr. Smith.
First and 10 here for MGM after we sort it out. So I'm sorry, 2nd and 10 for MGM. Kason Barton, he takes the handoff over the middle, doing his impersonation of William Refrigerator Perry. Picks up a couple yards, Corey.
Tries to get up over the top, and just positive yardage is what's trying to be established as the clock continues to run here early in the third quarter for the Vikings. And they're just going to be very deliberate on what they try to do. No need to rush because you're not going to get 20 points back in one possession.
Right.
So why not go ahead and methodically work your way back into this, get your crowd excited as well.
Interesting adjustment here in the second half. Blunt 15-0 over Daphne at halftime. They're playing that ball game in Daphne. That is a key game. The winner of that game probably will secure a playoff berth. And Dominique Ezel is secured and wrapped up by Baker. Boy, that was a hit as he entered the hole.
Looked like Terry Curtsey on the stop, straight up and straight down. We're going to have an official timeout on the play, and not sure what it's going to be an official timeout for, because I definitely did not see any penalty flags.
I don't see any either, right?
The officials are huddling right now, but
and it didn't appear as if the ball came out. So let's take a look at the replay, see if we can see something here.
straight up and straight down. No, it definitely was not a fumble on the play until after the runner had hit the ground. So it looks like we're ready to play on.
Something Mike Smith and the crew wanted to discuss, and they did it. 4th down, Corey. They're going for it as they hand it off to Ezel, and he is tripped up by the turf monster, and then he is brought down by the Hornets. Ball over on downs. So that first series pretty much helped by a penalty and a big run by Dominic Ezel, but it's going to stall at the 35-yard line of Baker. Coming up later on, got the Game of the Week Brain Buster. It's our last one of the season, Corey. So I will say, it's the end of the season, so this is like your final exam. So it might be a little tougher than the other one. So we want you to think about it when we put it up later on in the ball game. So this is your, as they call it, this is your test to see if you pass.
Is this my EQT?
This is your EQT here, Corey.
30% of my grade?
This is the end of the, well, yeah, we'll call it that. Huh? See if China will agree with us, the statistician over there. Little screen being set up, cannot get it out. It is incomplete as they try to connect with Isaiah Dixon. Summerlin couldn't get that ball to him.
The Hornets throwing the football early on first down. If they're going to take their shots, they wanted to go ahead and do so early, but I would get the football to number 7, Ja'Shawn McMillan, and let him just go ahead and continue to bleed this clock, keep the MGM Viking defense on the field for as long as he can.
Yeah, you don't want to have a costly turnover right here. Up 3 scores. And they read your mind, Corey. Justin Patterson calls Ja'Shawn McMillan's number. He gets the first down close to the midfield stripe. Ball at about the 50-yard line. First down, Baker.
Yeah, I would go ahead and do that and go to DeMarquez Williams as well. Just hit him with the 1-2 punch to where if you get in a situation to where McMillan gets tired, you're able to go right back to the fresh back, DeMarquez Williams, and just continue to keep this Viking defense on their heels, really.
1st and 10, ball at the 50-yard line. Hand off to McMillan, and he is wrapped up by the Vikings. That's going to be a loss. Well, no, forward progress made about a yard. They give him credit for a yard, Corey.
McMillan stays in the backfield. Now you're looking at 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Again, the play clock on the field being kept by the officials because of Charlie Ship's injury early here in the first half. The alternate official comes off the play clock and goes down and is actually now on the field as a game official.
Play action, Summerlin goes across the middle, connects with Cade Collier, the big tight end. And that's enough for first downs, and the sticks will move for the Hornets.
And you can see how tall Cade Collier is as he stands next to the safety Trey Umbarger, but not before the sticks are moved. You go ahead and go to your safety valve. Collier already has 1 touchdown catch tonight, that being from running back Ja'Shawn McMillan, who was playing the Wildcat quarterback position.
Right, threw that one to him, and McMillan ran for one earlier in the ball game. 1st and 10. For the Baker Hornets, as they need to win tonight and get some help from Bryant to defeat Murphy. Little shuffle pass, and that one is immediately read by the Vikings. They were all over it.
You try to give it to your H-back underneath, a little touch pop pass, and if he would have dropped that, it would not have been a fumble. It would have been considered a forward pass, I do believe. But now you're looking at a situation to where you're at 2nd down and 12 yards to go.
Summerlin checking his wrist for the play there. In motion, DeMarquez Williams there. That sweep once again picks up some positive yards, so it's going to be about 3rd and 6 here for Baker, trying to get the first down and keep the ball going. 6:56 remaining here, the clock ticking at E.S. Grider Memorial Field.
Hit him with the 1-2 punch again of number 7, Ja'Shawn McMillan, as long with number 5, Marquez Williams, comes from his wide receiver position and goes ahead and plays a little bit of running back for the Baker Hornets as well.
3rd and long coming up for Baker as they look to the sidelines for the play call. DeMarquez Williams in the ball game in the backfield. Jayshon McMillan. Summerlin rolling out. He's got some guys open. He's going for big Cade Collier, and it is tipped away by Trey Umberger. They tried that play earlier. It resulted in an interception. Ty McMillan, Umberger from his strong safety position, knocks it down, Corey.
Great job of keeping your eyes active on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Not go ahead and looking in the backfield as we saw MGM do that earlier in the season and get in trouble. But great job of staying home, making sure that you fielded that ball perfectly. Not able to intercept it, but at least you're able to knock it away. Stops the clock, brings up 4th down and 9 yards to go for the Hornets.
I thought Summerlin was going to dump it down to McMillan, who was open in the flank, but he went for the shot with Cade Collier. Tripped receivers to the bottom of the screen. He does get that one complete. Will it be enough for the first down?
It is. Great catch by Nobles, I do believe.
Devin Nobles, does come over from defense to come in and does bring that one in, Corey. And that does move the sticks.
Look at the throw on 4th down. Summerlin stands strong in the pocket, puts it on the money, and a good hit by the MGM defender as well. But making sure he looked it all the way in was Nobles for the first down.
Keeps the drive alive at 6:07 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Beautiful crescent moon in the sky, crystal clear sky tonight. Cold temperatures. 2nd down, but the Hornets are hot on top 20-0 over MGM.
A nice drive going now for the Baker Hornets as it feels like 43 degrees here in Sims, Alabama, as the temperature continues to drop as we get later on into tonight's contest.
It feels like 43. To me, it feels like about 33, Corey, up here on the press box. DeMarquez Williams runs, ball comes out, as well as a couple of flags. Ty McMillan has the ball as he's fighting for possession with Cade Collier at the bottom of the pile, but a flag is out. So we'll see if this affects the possible change of possession, or will it remain with Baker? And no, Mike Smith said that's a fumble. It's a turnover. MGM has recovered.
Just the momentum that the Vikings needed, as if you're the Hornets, you have to find a way to protect that football. That's the worst thing that can happen. The penalty is against the Hornets. It is declined. 1st and 10 for the Vikings, and they're going to try to row the boat and get the oars going offensively.
Great work by the camera crew there. And speaking of camera crew, I told you all season we can't do it by ourselves, Corey, so we're going to get a shot of one of our camera guys, Derek Williams, here shortly. 1st down and 10 for MGM as they bring Ashton Hollins back in, and they go back to their normal offensive setup. And Kel Young is brought down, ball ripped out. Be 2nd down for MGM. And there is Derek right there. Did a fine job for us all season on camera. And I believe at one point, Corey, he went to the truck and did some replays this season.
He did. He just dibbled and dabbled into everything. Great job. And you got to wave to everybody and let everybody know that you're very happy. Look at Leon.
And there's big Leon. He's been on the field all season. Fortunately, none of the players ran into him, Corey, so they remained healthy and on the team all season for us.
Head on a swivel at all times.
Got to.
Kimberly covered up over there on the sidelines, does a wonderful job as well.
2nd and long here for MGM. After that second half adjustment, going to the big power package and bringing Isaac Bozeman in as quarterback. They go back to Ashton Hollins. That's a fumble, Corey, you're right. But Johnny on the spot, Trey Umberger falls on it. And that ball will be recovered and retained by MGM. A Baker player hurt on the field, number 91, down on the field grimacing right now. It's like Tay King down on the field, Corey, in pain. So we're going to have officials timeout as they take a look at him. Maybe we'll take a look at some of the other camera crew for the MCPSS production crew. This guy right here, I know him from years ago. His official name is Gary Arnold, but we call him Bubba, the biggest Tennessee fan on the Gulf Coast right there. Even got his orange gloves on, Corey.
Bubba does a wonderful job each and every Friday night. Appreciate it.
Here's another buddy. Richard Beatty got his park on. Smart guy. Has his gloves on as well. It's a bit nippy out tonight, Corey.
The temperature's dropping. Our camera crew come prepared with their gloves on, along with the hat.
And this young man right here, Marcus, now he'll put you on TV for real. Marcus caught us a few times while we were thought we were watching the game. He was watching us, Corey. So Marcus Poe, Richard Beatty, Gary Arnold there doing the thing. And you got keep it in mind, these guys are out getting wet when it's raining as well. And there's Timothy Ryan Harris doing a great job for us as well. And backup camera person and grip, Corey. We have so many folks on the crew, especially like halftime, the regular camera guys have to take a break. And there's our intern for the crew, Mr. Julian Jackson, did a fine job. Boy, Fran had him running everywhere. Fran Conaway, the engineer, he had Julian running everywhere.
Julian does a great job as a University of South Alabama student.
And another Al Giroux, and another grips on the crew, hanging out with us as well. So looks like King was escorted to the sideline. Corey needed some help to get over to the sideline. Third and very long for MGM. Hollins has a lot of time. He's going to scramble. He does hold on to the ball, most importantly. And looks like another flag coming out. Late hit possibly there, Corey. Unsportsmanlike once again.
One of the things that you have to do when you hear the whistle blow, you have to let go. You cannot finish the tackle with any type of violent play or picking up the runner. That's a flag all day long, and that's something that the officials have already warned and gone ahead and thrown the flag on both teams for unsportsmanlike. We'll have another personal foul here marching this 15-yard one off.
You can see they're already walking that way.
After the play was over, we had a dead ball, personal foul on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. It results in a first down.
The first down for MGM. Take a look at the replay here.
Again, the whistle blows. Hollins back in the game for the Vikings, and he's down right there. You have to go ahead and let go of him, but he goes ahead and throws him down.
Like Trey Daughtry on that, number 11.
Or Baylor Britt. When you have double numbers, it's sometimes hard to tell.
Yeah, it is. Jeremiah Martin scrambling.
25, Jeremiah Martin.
And still a little chippy, Corey. It is the Battle of West Mobile, and we know right now Baker on top, 20-0. Flags all on the field being scattered. Even the press box announcer makes mention of that fact.
And what you'll see is sooner or later, if they don't clean it up, you'll see the ejection come, and that would be because of a fight or some type of punch thrown. You don't want to see that happen here in your final game. Even though it's senior night, you still want to go ahead and conduct yourself with sportsmanship, play within the rules of the game. When you do hear that whistle blow, you ultimately have to stop the play.
The play counted. After the play, we had a dead ball, unsportsmanlike on Mary Montgomery. That player is ejected from the game.
So that was possibly his second unsportsmanlike conduct?
Yeah, and I want to see who it is. If Kelton Young is not back on the field for the MGM Vikings, that's exactly who it's going to be called on.
So our executive producer was just saying that he believed it was number 4, and that is Kelton Young's number, because earlier they had unsportsmanlike conduct, and typically you get 2 of those, you are ejected. I don't see anybody walk into the field house or anything, but that appears to be the call. Jeremiah Martin with the run. I'm sorry, Edrin Houston with the run there for MGM. That was second down. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and long. Third quarter action right here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Al Whedon, Corey Bounty. Down on the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn, executive produced by Quentin Howard, technical director Wade Ford. And this is a big game for Baker. They need to win and then get some help with Murphy losing for Baker to get into the playoff score. Run by Hollins right there. Let's take it on the sidelines for Kimberly Dunn. She has an update for us.
I was able to get an injury update for the Baker player that was helped off of the field. They wouldn't tell us exactly what was wrong with him, but they did let us know that he is not going to be returning to the game. He is out for the rest of the game. And then we also noticed that over here on MGM sidelines, number 24, Christopher Wallace, is being examined right now in the tent for a possible concussion. And I know he's one of Mary Montgomery's strongest players, so hopefully he is okay and he's able to get back into the game.
Thank you, Kim. She's right. He plays defense, offense, and special teams, Corey. He does a lot for MGM. DeMarquez Williams takes the punt. A flag comes in. Second and third quarter have been littered with flags, Corey, and the flags continue to come in as Williams runs up to about the 43, 44-yard line.
Going to be a holding call against the Baker Hornets. I think that's going to be the one that I saw. Not quite sure if all three flags will be for the same exact call, but definitely saw the holding on the return team, which would have been the Hornets, right here toward the end of the play. Easy call. Jay-Sean McMillan
took him down.
Tackles
took
the
him
MGM
down.
Viking player Dawson Sims.
We have holding on the receivers. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spotted foul. It's Baker's ball, 1st and 10.
That'll push Baker back to about the 26-yard line. Now, Corey, we saw a lot of our camera crew earlier, but the one shot I'm waiting to see is the shot from inside the truck. I've been waiting all season for this one, so it's coming up later on. We're going to get the inside the truck shot. We get to see the real crew at work later on, so stick around for that. I love that camera they put in there, man.
It is absolutely fabulous.
1st and 10 for Baker. Cade Collier and the rest of the crew lining up. They're just going to block for Jay-Sean McMillan, who runs back counter the opposite way and runs into Connor Cates and the rest of the crew for MGM.
But what you want to see is you definitely still want to see the push by the Baker offensive line here with 2:40 remaining here in the third quarter. And you want to see and try to be able to help your running back bust a big one, because I know Baker would love to put 6 more points on the board and to pad their running backs' stats. How do you do that? Go ahead and control the line of scrimmage and being able to get that push here for the Hornets late in the third quarter.
2nd and 14 here for Baker. McMillan runs out. They throw it out to him on a screen. Needs a block right there. Runs into DeMarquez Williams and bounces off of him. It'll be 3rd down, and Corey, here it is. My wish will be granted. The truck cam coming up, where we get to look inside the truck for all the action. There it is. Fran Conway, got Essie Harris, Quentin Howard, Eric Lowe in the corner, Miss Diane. There's Wade Ford with the Alabama hat on his back too. He's got to make sure he's punching up the right shot. And back there doing replay, Charles Martin. And we had one other crew member who started the year, and he's been there with us for a while, but he went on to bigger things. Mr. Stewart Allgood. He caught one game at the top of the year, but a great guy. But that's the truck cam. I love that shot, Corey.
Outstanding, making things happen each and every week here for Al and myself, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the fine folks, not only in the truck, but outside in the elements, like you just said, whether it's hot and 100 degrees when they're setting up, or whether it's raining or as cold as it is, our crew does an outstanding job each and every week. And to my right sits China Powell.
Man,
she's
getting the MVP of the Year award, Corey. I'm giving it to her.
She's bundled up pretty tight here. She's had an opportunity to go ahead and see what it's all about here in her first season as statistician, doing a wonderful job here for the MCPSS Television Network.
Defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It results in a 1st down.
I'm giving her the MVP award of the season, Corey, because she provided us with information that we did not have and made a big difference on the crew. And finally, one of these long passes that Cade Collier pays off for a pass interference. Not picked off or incomplete, so Baker gets a 1st down out of it. Ball at the 44-yard line.
And again, the Baker Hornets just need to make sure they don't turn over the football. Go ahead and continue to get that push at the line of scrimmage.
Hand off to Jay-Sean McMillan as he cuts back to the inside, picks up about 3 or 4 yards. All right, Corey, let's put it out. Here's your EQT question. Here's your final exam of the season, the game of the week brain bust. All right, Baker currently has a 9-game winning streak against MGM, the longest of any active school. What former high school also shares this same losing streak to Baker? Corey, here's the key. The tip is active and former. That is the clue to the answer to the question.
No multiple choice?
No multiple choice tonight, brother. You got to perform. So think about it. The word is active and former, and that's going to be the clue to the school that has the second longest losing streak to Baker. The reason I came up with this one, Corey, we know Baker is a school that hasn't been known for winning for years. And that was the key to the question. Who could Baker beat consistently? Think about it, Corey. Active and former.
Okay, all right.
And that'll give you the clue to who the answer. And a flag is on the play. This third quarter has been littered with laundry.
Encroachment, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It results in a first down.
Hornets benefit from that penalty. That'll push them further to the goal line. Ball being placed right here at the 43-yard line. Summerlin still in the ball game. McMillan starting offense for the Hornets as they look to the sideline for the play call from Justin Patterson.
Baker just trying to go ahead and get ready to end this third quarter, leading 20-0. The scoreboard reads 21-0, but my buddy John Vella went downstairs to double check, and it is officially 20-0.
So it's officially 20. So one of those extra points they said that wasn't good was actually good, some kind of way. I think it was the first one, Corey. And that's the end of the third quarter. We put the question out there. I believe that's the end of the quarter. There's a flag on the play. We can't end the quarter with the
one on time down.
With the defensive play.
On the offense.
So it's on the offense. I believe we can end the quarter here with an offensive penalty. Let's see.
Down. One untimed down.
So we'll play an untimed down here. So false start with it possibly being a dead ball foul. I guess we could have this penalty. One untimed down here. It is 1st and 15 for the Hornets. And Corey, you have more time to think about your EQT question. Your final exam, huh?
Well, you know, I know it's not multiple choice. Can I phone a friend?
Oh, I don't think the proctor's going to allow that, Corey. I don't think so. We want you to pass your boards correctly. They're going for the kill shot to Leo Richards. He hauls it in, but drops the biscuit, Corey.
Well, you know, it's a situation where we saw him get called for offensive pass interference with a tremendous one-handed catch earlier in tonight's contest. That one just outstretched him. His fingertips were able to touch it. That looks like it's going to be the end of the third quarter.
In the third quarter, we've got the official score from inside the press box that is 21-0. We still have 20. It's okay. Baker's on top. All right, Corey, we put out the Game of the Week Brainbuster question. We'll put it up once again. Are you ready to take your EQT, take your boards here? Baker currently has a 9-game winning streak against MGM, the longest of any active school. What former high school also shares this same losing streak to Baker?
Well, I just think former school, I'm going to go down to the Bayou.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Alba.
Alba High School. Close, but no cigar, Corey. It is Grand Bay, and John Vila knew it. Grand Bay lost 9 in a row to Baker from 1971 to 1979. But here's the irony. Here's your +1, Corey.
Do I get credit for Alba being in Grand Bay?
Kinda, sorta. Alba and Grand Bay merged to make what high school?
Is it the one that we currently cover, the Bryant Hurricanes?
Yeah, they merged to make. And who does Baker need to win tonight to help them get into the playoffs?
Would it be the Bryant Hurricanes?
It would be the. So look at the irony. There's your +1. Look at the irony in all of that, Corey.
9 in a row from 71 to 79.
And currently, right now, Murphy on top, 35-0 over Bryant. 10-10.
That would probably be why the crowd across from us, across the way,
they're pretty
is
quiet.
Kind of quiet, even though they're leading 20-0.
Good game at the lip right there, 10-10. And Blunt on top of Daphne in the third quarter, 15-0. Spanish Fort on top of Saraland. That is going to be quite interesting, 16-10 over Saraland. Spanish Fort pretty much needs to get that win to possibly have a chance to get into the playoffs. And we've gotten word from our executive producer through the refs. The game is 20-0, Corey. So we have a hanging Chad.
We do have a hanging Chad. We looked at that first extra point, and it looked good from
I thought it
up
was
here
good.
on the press
I
box.
thought it was
The
good.
officials, I guess, said no good. So we'll go ahead and start this fourth quarter with something we want to stay away from here in the fourth quarter of play, a penalty flag.
More penalties. But, Corey, if I had probably allowed you to phone a friend, I bet you would have called John Vila.
I would have
It was
called
about
John.
3 steps over from you to the right.
Correction, replay second down.
So we have a replay of second down here. And this is going to be, as I like to say it, Corey, second and a country mile. Wow.
A situation to where if you're Baker, just go ahead and run the draw, run it between tackle and guard, and go ahead and pick up as much yardage as possible. Hopefully you get to that second level of this Vikings defense. And if you're able to do that and get a hat on a hat, get half of these yards back on second down, get back to the original line of scrimmage on third down.
That's the 43-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. And the ball, did it come out from Summerlin, Corey? Did he drop it? He held on, but he was brought down. His third down. Time to check your school calendar. More information headed your way. We'll flip the calendar into later on into November. Thanksgiving break. I know this is one the kids and all the teachers look forward to. An entire week, November 25 through the 29th, is Thanksgiving break. Schools will be closed. A lot of folks head out of town to go visit the in-laws and celebrate Thanksgiving. So don't forget, November 25th through the 29th, that's the big Thanksgiving break. Third and still long here for Baker. Summerlin decides to keep it up the middle, getting close to the original line of scrimmage, Corey. But it'll be fourth down for the Hornets.
Now you have an opportunity to flip the field if you're the Baker Hornets.
So it'll be
with the
fourth down
clock
for Baker
continuing
right
to
now.
run.
Having some audio issues right now. Josh LeBourgeois on to punt. And it looks as if C.J. Wallace has come back into the ball game, Corey, out of the medical tent there.
That'll be a situation to keep your eye on to see if he is able to field this or whether he calls the fair catch would be give you some type of indication.
LeBourgeois' punt gets hung up. Good hang time. You want to get away from that. That is a live ball. If it would hit one of the Vikings, they do a good job of staying away, and the ball is down at about the 11-yard line.
Now, we were able to see the Hornets on this end of the field flip the field and go some 80-something yards and have a huge touchdown drive. Now the Vikings are going to try to do the same thing.
Yep, Fairhope has broken the tie, up 7 points over McGill, 17-10. And as we see right there, Murphy over Bryant, 35-0. Both of those games in the third quarter. Corey, I was looking at the playoff brackets the other day, and I noticed the majority of the brackets in the state are filled out except for two, 7A and 6A, because we have 9-team regions down here, and the games matter going into the 11th week.
Absolutely right. I still have a score in the third quarter of Blunt 15, Daphne 0, Spanish Fort 16, Saraland 10 in the fourth quarter. 17-10, Fairhope over McGill Tulin. In the third quarter, Theodore leading Enterprise 21-7. Mentioned in 6A, St. Paul's leading Robbinsdale 41-13.
They've tacked on another score there. Ashton Hollins on the run, and he is met by the Hornets, but they're saying he is down. That's not a fumble. He is down by contact.
Also, Murphy leading Bryant in the fourth quarter 35-0.
And Corey, you hit it right on the head. Across from us, about the only sounds or motion we can see is from the Baker Hornet Marching Band. And boy, they are having a good time in the end zones. But the majority of the faithful know the reality. They would have needed Bryant to upset Murphy for the Hornets to get into the playoffs.
BC Rain trying to end the season on a good note. They're leading Gulf Shores 20-14 in the third quarter.
So 8:30 remaining here in our ball game. MGM backed up to their own 5-yard line. Hollins rolls out, needs to get out of the end zone. And the ball comes out. That's a fumble. Baker picks it up.
Still pushing the pile.
And a scrum is taking place right now. It looks like a football game turned into rugby for a second there, Corey.
Looks like Big 90. Is that Big 92?
I believe so. And there's a signal. Officially a fumble. Ball turned over. Take a look at the replay there.
Ashton Hollins rolls to the right, goes ahead and has the ball real loose. We notice he hangs it pretty loosely and bounces right into the big fella 92's hands. He picks it up off of the grass, continues to push the pile forward. Now it's going to be first down and goal to go for the Baker Hornets with 8:07 remaining in the fourth quarter.
I don't have a 92 on my C2C roster for the Hornets, Corey. Closest I have was 93. But the Hornets nonetheless get the ball on the turnover, and all they have to do is pretty much not give it back. They're up 20 points right now over MGM.
Yeah, I mean, you in this situation in the first half, you saw them go to Jayshon McMillan in the red zone area, and now you look at him get right back into the Wildcat, and this is familiar territory. The third time he's going to get a touch in this red zone area here in tonight's football game.
Right up the middle goes McMillan to the 5-yard line, Corey, and I believe his campaign for the Career Tech Education Player of the Game, I think we can solidify that tonight.
I agree with you. It's just up to his offensive line to continue to get that push.
Right.
No need to go anywhere else besides to him or DeMarquez Williams around the end with one of those pop passes or jet sweeps that the Hornets have been able to run. 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Officially, the Baker Hornets are leading 20-0 over the MGM Vikings.
Brisk night in Sims, Alabama. E.S. Grider Memorial Field. And Baker taking their time. 3rd and goal here. McMillan keeps it once again and just dives straight forward. Brought down by Connor Cates and the crew along with Cedric Davis there. So it'll be 4th down, and I believe we may get a field goal attempt here from the Hornets.
Yeah, that's something that the Hornets were able to do to defeat the Panthers a couple of weeks ago. So we'll see if they're able to put 3 more on the board to make it 23-0 if this one goes through.
Jacob Tanner on for a 23-yard attempt, puts it up. And Corey, I could clearly see that one was wide right, so no good for Tanner. Let's take it to a break right now. We'll be back with more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
The Mobile County Public Schools Environmental Studies Center would like to invite you to their annual open house. Join us on Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come take a tour of the grounds where you can experience live animals and reptiles that are local to our area. There's wildlife shows, arts and crafts, food trucks, and fun for everyone. Don't forget, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the Environmental Studies Center open house.
We welcome you back to E.S. Grider Memorial Field for the Battle of West Mobile. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Baker in control, 20-0 over MGM. And Corey, Baker was not able to get points on the board right there, but they chewed up some clock, only leaving 5:58 remaining in the contest.
And right now we have a discussion going on between head coach McCain and our white hat tonight, Mr. Smith. I'm not quite sure what they're talking about in this situation, but let me give a shout out to all the seniors, not only here in Sims, Alabama class of 2020, doing a tremendous job from an auxiliary standpoint, from a cheerleading standpoint, from a band standpoint, from a football playing standpoint.
Yeah.
All the seniors of 2020 play a vital role and the heart and soul of each and every community and school. They take so much pride in waiting their turn to become seniors, whether it's in any capacity, but 2020 is definitely making its mark. I know MCPSS always does a great job of covering high school graduation in May as well.
That's true. Isaac Bozeman in now, attempts to throw, and that's a fumble unless his hand was coming forward.
It's still loose.
Still loose, but Baker's on top of it.
And the Hornets do have it.
As Bozeman brought his arm back, the ball popped out, Corey.
1st and goal for the Baker Hornets.
Another turnover, yep.
It's just a situation to where on my checklist I talked about the MGM Vikings had to win the turnover battle, but that ball just absolutely slips. Not sure if his hands weren't warm or it's dry here, but it just falls out of his hands, and you've seen that play happen before, and then it squirts in between the legs of some Baker Hornets, and they're finally able to get on top of it. They're going to be right back where they were before they missed this field goal earlier just moments ago, trying to put 6 more points on the board.
And here come the Baker Hornets, led by quarterback Nick Summerlin once again. Summerlin is a senior, and I believe Coach Norman is going to try to allow as many of his seniors to remain on the field, as it's looking as if this will possibly be the Hornets' last football game of the year. Hand off to Ja'Shawn McMillan, trying to get the 3rd score of the night, and
he does.
He hits pay dirt, I believe, touchdown, picks up his 3rd touchdown, the 2nd on the ground. It was 1st and goal for the Hornets. Corey, I think he has solidified even before the Iowa caucuses started. He is the Career Tech Education Player of the Game.
Makes that a little bit easier than your brain buster decision that I got wrong. Didn't have to bust my brain to figure out who would be the Career Tech Player of the Game after that touchdown.
That was a good one, Corey Bounty. Peyton Engel on for the PAT. And he drives it right down the middle. Let's look at that replay from Ja'Shawn McMillan. Fine player. Unfortunately, we didn't see him in the Fairhope ball game, but I can see the difference he makes for the Hornets. As he goes up the middle, and that is a touchdown. Put up 6.
6-yard touchdown run.
And there it is. It's official, Corey. All the votes are tabulated. No hanging chads on this one. It's Ja'Shawn McMillan of the Baker Hornets, the Career Tech Education Player of the Game.
5:41 remaining here in the 4th quarter. And, I mean, just look at him in front. Cade Collier in front of him, but he's continuing to walk and pace the sidelines is Mr. McMillan. And an outstanding performance tonight.
It was.
By this young man. And we'll definitely see him again as he's the 5'10", 180-pound junior.
Right.
One of our impact players early in the game that we really needed to take a look at, and he shows us exactly why.
Kimberly Dunn will be able to chat with him after the ball game. Got to thank Career Tech for stepping up and done a good job this season for helping us out with the players of the game, and Kimberly and her crew and grips to hunt those players down to talk to them after the ball game as well. Jeremiah Martin takes the kickoff return, gets it up to about the 39-yard line. Good return there for the Vikings.
On every single play, you can see the Baker Hornets continuing to try to increase that turnover total and pry and rip that football away. So if you're the Vikings, you have to make sure that you secure the pigskin every time, whether it's on a run or a pass, run after the catch, whatever the situation may be, just make sure that you're valuing the football.
Looks like we have another quarterback change, possibly.
That's what I was seeing, the personnel that they were putting in, and at first I thought that
13,
it would have been Jason Gilly.
But Bozeman is back in, Corey. I will say I have seen a few quarterbacks, more so in the professional ranks, they play with gloves. And not when it's cold, but even when it's hot. But not many of the high schoolers, they still go with the natural flesh there.
Yeah, the bare hands, and if your hands are big enough, we saw, unfortunately, on that last possession to where the football just slipped away.
Popped out, yep.
And popped out as he was trying to throw the football, as was Mr. Bozeman, and I guarantee he'll learn from that. He'll grow from that. It's just one of those unfortunate turnovers and situations that he would like to have back, and it did create points off turnovers, but something here late in the game are flags. A false start being called against the Vikings will cost them 5 yards, and 4:52 remaining here in the fourth quarter, Al.
On the offense, it's a 5-yard penalty.
Second down. I was waiting for, there it is, for Mike Smith to say that, so that'll push them back about 5 yards. Yeah, Corey, beautiful night out here in Sims, Alabama, our 4th time covering the Vikings, and the chilliest night that we've had covering the Vikings this season as we wrap up the season with the Battle of West Mobile. Started off 11 weeks ago with the Battle of Pritchett, Corey. It might have been, what, 100 or something?
It was
quite exact opposite. Wow. Up the middle goes Austin Johnson. He's got enough to be a first down.
We're going to have an ejection here.
And we still have pass chippiness. Players still going at it. We know these are two rivals out here in the county, and we have an injured Hornet down on the field right now.
Holding his knee.
Looks like Jamarcus McCall, number 23. While they're tending to him, I'm sure there's the play call. I'm sorry, the penalty call, and
he is ejected.
He's being tossed out. As McCall is up, he's going to be helped off the field. And Mike Smith coming back over to the sideline to inform Coach McCain about another ejection of a Viking, looks like.
Yeah, it's a situation to where Mike Smith and his crew will have to be doing a little bit of extra paperwork when this game is completed, as all athletes take the STAR Sportsmanship program, and all head coaches want to avoid ejections in any sport that takes place in the AHSAA, but unfortunately that is going to be the second ejection of the night by the Vikings, or for the Vikings players.
Right. And it does have some ramifications down the line for the school as well, Corey.
It does. You have to go ahead and make sure you double check and secure yourself from a STAR Sportsmanship standpoint again, and if you don't, it can cost a $500 fine for your program, and that's something that you definitely don't want to have to pay. But, you know, tempers flare, but you have to learn how to keep those under control, especially 4:28 remaining here in the fourth quarter, with our score being 27-0.
Here's the official call from Mike Smith there.
So we had dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on Montgomery. They made the line to gain during that play, so it'll be 15 yards, and it is a first down.
He is right. Johnson did pick up the first down, but it'll be all for naught right now, Corey.
Just want to make sure that we keep that clock rolling here in the fourth quarter. If you're the Baker Hornets, stay away from false starts and penalties in that situation. Running back, new running back for the Baker Hornets, and a new quarterback as well in the game. Excuse me, for the Vikings. New running back for the Vikings.
Right. Johnson once again on the carry. He's a senior, so getting his last action of the season tonight as Bozeman comes over to the sideline, gets the call, and runs back to the huddle. Talked about it last week when MGM was playing Theodore, Corey. I can't recall many teams here in our area that still huddle up, but Coach Stan McCain, probably from the old school, they huddle up here at MGM. And we have another flag on the play.
That's something that you want to stay away from.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. It remains second down.
That'll be 5 yards against MGM. Will push them back a bit farther. Now you're looking at 1st and 20 here. I'm sorry, not 1st and 20. 1st and about 13. Sorry, 2nd down, Corey. That's what it is. High snap to Bozeman. And Austin Johnson gets a couple yards on the carry. Baker and MGM have met 55 times over the years, and MGM leads the series 30-23 with 2 ties, and they are on their way tonight to picking up a victory with 3:27 remaining here in the ball game. We know Coach Steve Norman served as an assistant for many years.
Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul will replay 2nd down.
Another penalty against MGM. Talking about Coach Norman, over 16 years was an assistant coach, Corey, so stepping up last year, got the interim title, and at the end of the year they had to make a decision, and he had to think about it. He said he didn't really originally want to be the coach, but decided to go ahead and put his name in the hat.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, again, Baker will move to 5-5.
Yep.
Officially on the season. 500 is not too bad when you have an opportunity in your first full year as a head coach, moving in the right direction on the Baker Hornets.
Hand off once again to Austin Johnson, just being pushed back as his forward progress is stopped. Looks like a Viking on the field, getting up a bit slow, but he does regain his power there. It'll be 3rd and long here for MGM. One thing I can say about the Vikings fans, Corey, they have come out each time we've been here, supported the Vikings, and stayed till the end, no matter what the outcome was.
I agree with you on that. And also across the way, you look at all the Baker Hornets fans knowing that they will not advance in the playoffs, and this will be their last game, making sure that they go ahead and they honor this senior class.
Right.
Again, in all aspects, whether it's cheerleading or whether it's band members or football players, making sure they stay to the end.
Yeah, they want to hang their hat, and I'm pretty sure Coach Norman and the crew, especially his defense, want to preserve this shutout too.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I did miss in this Battle of West Mobile that you mentioned earlier in the broadcast out was the jalapeno eating contest that would have taken place
yep.
at Whataburger.
Between the two principals,
Between the two principals. That's always fun to find
It
out
is.
who's able to go ahead and take the brunt of that and win one for their school. But they did go ahead, and if you went to Whataburger on Schillinger Road on Tuesday and mentioned that you're there in support of Baker or MGM, that donations would go toward that school.
Right.
So, again, anything that supports a healthy rivalry here in West Mobile, you have to love it.
High snap over Brewer's head, and he's trying to get out of the end zone, but that is going to be a safety. That'll be 2 points added to the score. I thought Brewer may have tried to just left kick it or right kick it or something, but he takes the safety, swallows his medicine. There's a big kid there. Let's take a look at the replay.
Just over his head.
Way over his head, yeah.
And there's nothing you can do besides fall on the football, and that's exactly what he tried to get out of the end zone, wasn't able to get his balance, but at least he didn't lose the football. What we'll have here now is a free kick by the Vikings to the Hornets, and it'll give the Hornets an opportunity to salt away this game. With 1:22 remaining in the fourth quarter, Baker is going to win it, but won't make the playoffs.
Nope.
Murphy will go ahead and secure that 4 seed in 7A Region 1.
Baker return team out on the field already, just awaiting MGM. Their special teams coach is head coach Stan McCain, so he handles all of the special teams calls. And didn't really see them do any trickeration tonight, Corey. Each game we've covered them. They've had a little trick play they run on special teams, but tonight there's not many opportunities doing it.
It is a final. Murphy defeats Bryant 35-0. Faith Academy goes undefeated, defeated Lumberton, Mississippi 34-14 as well.
Wow, Faith Academy 10-0. Led by former Baker coach Jack French there. They went over to Lumberton and got the win. They had already wrapped up region play. Pretty much teams in 4A, 5A, they wrapped up. But when you have 9 teams in the area like we have here in 6A, 7A, it goes down to the last week. Here's a free kick from Brewer. And Baker's going to do the smart thing and just take a knee right there and fair catch it at the 44-yard line.
PC Rain leading Gulf Shores 26-14.
Fine job for first-year coach Lawrence Sheldon, Corey. Longtime assistant over at Daphne, coming over to take over the Rain program.
I agree with that 100%. Blunt leading Daphne 15-7 in the fourth quarter also.
Huge ball game right there. I know the winner of that game pretty much will get into the playoffs, and we know St. Paul's will secure their situation as well.
7A Region 1 contest between Fairhope and McGill-Tulane knotted up at 17. They're going to overtime, going to play a little extra football.
Pirates still hanging in there. That game being played over at the Lip. New quarterback in the ball game for Baker, and new running back as well. It looks like he's trying to take it to the house. And that is going to be a touchdown for Jamari Hawkins, Corey.
5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Welcome to the West Mobile rivalry. Getting 6 more. Thought they were going to salt it away, and you have to tackle the man. That's the name of this game. You have to get the runner down, and if you tackle him, they're going to run out the clock. But if you don't, he's going to put 6 on the board, and that's exactly what happened for the Baker Hornets to put the exclamation point on tonight's victory.
56-yard rumble right there for Jamari Hawkins, and the kick is up, and it is good. So there's a PAT that counts as Baker extends the lead 36-0 over MGM.
1:10 remaining. You look at the instant replay, and it was just a great run as he cuts back against the grain and turns it upfield. You look at him eyeing the end zone. Hawkins looked to be tripped up, but he found a way to go ahead and get in the zone.
Corey, you're looking at the future. He's just a sophomore.
That's exactly what you want to have next year, the type of depth between Jay-Sean McMillan as well as Mr. Hawkins. That's impressive by the Baker Hornets, and again, that's what I expected them to really do here, is just dominate and establish themselves and be able to run the clock out in the second half. But the explosiveness that I really thought that McMillan would have had, that burst of run, comes from the backups.
So a lot of fresh uniforms going on the field right now, Corey, for the Hornets, as we like to say, as we go deep into our C-to-C chart for the kickoff crew right here, or as Coach Norman calls them, the Hornet hooligans on the field. Special teams crew. Jacob Tanner set to kick off. As we have 70 seconds remaining in our last contest of the season. C.J. Wallace, we have said it in all 4 of our games, he is a dangerous guy. Don't kick the ball to him. He does that every time, Corey.
Finds a way to beat
wow.
and get great yards, add to the statistics of his return game. And 1 minute exactly remaining. These Vikings are going to continue to scratch and claw for everything that is out there for them. And again, this is a great West Mobile rivalry. You look at the Baker Hornets moving on to 5-5, but Stan McCain.
Sportsmanlike conduct on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty that's added on to the end of the run. Mary Montgomery, ball, first down.
15, another unsportsmanlike. Wow.
Zero tolerance by these officials.
Yeah.
As we saw it get a little chippy in the second quarter. A couple of ejections as well as several unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but still 1 minute left to go, and it's just one of those situations. This last minute, Al, we want to see the officials have to see a clean football game to where they don't have to pull out the flags.
Right. First and 10, ball on the 45 of Baker, trying to preserve the shutout. Isaac Bozeman hands the ball off as MGM is running here, and the game clock continues to run. And Corey, as our buddy over at Blunt, Santee Gamble says, another dirty yellow rag on the field.
That's what you get afraid of here in this last minute. For some reason, you start to see the plethora of the dirty rags come out on the field, and that's something that you want to stay away from if you're both teams. especially the
on
unsportsmanlike.
the defense, dead ball, and sportsmanlike on the offense. Those penalties offset by rule, second down.
And again, you just have to stay clean, Al.
Got to. The yards will count and the down will count. We'll move on. It'll be second down here, and the game clock continues to run. That was a running play. And one more stop by the Baker Hornets right there. With no flags on the field, Corey, I believe we may have one more snap, and that'll probably wrap it up for this ball game and for us on the season.
And it's been a tremendous season. A pleasure working with you again, Al, as I do believe we just finished our 4th season.
Corey, your math is correct. This is our 4th season, buddy.
My math is better than my brain-busting ability here tonight at ES Grider Memorial Field.
Well, overall for the season, Corey, I'd give you a B+. I give you a B+. But on the EQT, you failed tonight, buddy. You failed tonight, buddy. But good effort. Baker gets the win, 36-0. What a way to wrap up the Battle of West Mobile. So, Corey, that's going to wrap it up. Baker gets the win, the Battle of West Mobile. Hopefully, some good sportsmanship will be shown here as both the teams will meet and greet each other here on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe that 11 weeks of high school football have come and gone that quickly. It was the hottest football season I've seen.
I agree.
And talking with many of the coaches across the area, including Coach Norman and Coach McCain, they said it's been the hottest that they can recall ever coaching, whether as a head coach or an assistant coach. But tonight, Old Man Winter is knocking at the door, as it is definitely a little bit chilly here. But it's been a tremendous season by our crew. And again, it's been a pleasure covering football for the MCPSS television network. Tremendous season of action. The crew does an outstanding job each and every week.
So hats off to them. And Corey, once again, I give my MVP award to China Powell, who stepped up, served as our statistician, gave us all the great numbers, covering these games, and all the elements, just like we have to do it as well.
Want to thank her for her tremendous and quick work, being able to do the math for us, and it just enhances our broadcast.
All right, Corey Bounty, that wraps up year 4. I enjoyed it, buddy. We'll come back and do it again next year. We want to thank you for supporting MCPSS Athletics, and but most importantly for supporting the student athletes that we feature. For Kimberly Dunn, China Powell, our statistician, Corley Bounty, and the entire crew, I'm Al Whedon saying thank you for joining us for another successful season of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. And as we go, watch the words fly through the air. Have a great year.